to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.
93.7, the fan.
Now, fan headlines, powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
All right, Joel Nelson for Fan Headlines. Steelers open their preseason tonight at the Jacksonville Jaguars at 7 o'clock. That game being played in Jacksonville. Tonight in Pittsburgh, 6:40 between the Pirates and the Reds. Game 3 of their series, which Pittsburgh can win with a victory tonight. Pirates have won 12 of their last 17. 5:45 is the North Shore Tavern leadoff show with Dan Zangrilli. 6:40 first pitch. Braxton Ashcraft takes on Nick Martinez. For more, get to 937thefan.com. Right now, it's a Saturday afternoon with Jeff Hathorn.
Live and local, even on the weekends.
Let's go!
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
Jeff Hathorn with you on this beautiful, gorgeous day in Pittsburgh. Unless you're trying to get places, and it seems like everything's closed down, and Parkway, at least the Parkway East is going to close down around the Squirrel Hill Tunnel tonight at 9, just as a quick reminder. But it's all right. Everybody's going to be sitting down in front of the TV, watching and listening to Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch, and Missy Matthews as the Steelers have a game. For the first time since January, the Steelers have a game. The guys in the uniform may not be the same guys that you're going to see come next month in New York, but it will be a Steeler game tonight. There are several things. Listen, 16 starters aren't going to play. It would take me till the bottom of the hour to roll off the names of guys that aren't even going to dress. But there are some things to watch for tonight. And we can discuss at 412-928-9370. Listen, preseason football, I get it. It is what it is. It's not entertaining regular season football as far as names, but there are some things to watch for tonight. I'll get what you are watching for. Number one thing for me is the offensive line. First team offensive line minus Isaac Seumalo is going to be out there. We don't know how long. And Jacksonville has said they're going to bring their starting team out there. We don't know how long there, but you get to see Broderick Jones, Fautanu at the tackles. That is something to watch for in this game. How does that hold up? Spencer Anderson likely is going to be the guard. He's probably going to be the swing this year. How does he look if there is an injury to Seumalo? I know Andres Pete is going to compete for that position as well, and he, like Anderson, can also play tackle. But I don't know how much Pete's going to play with only one practice. We'll see. But expect Spencer Anderson. What does this line do? We saw at the beginning of camp when they weren't all together, there were some struggles. Broderick had a few days where guys were getting around him, especially before pads went on. Since the first team offensive line has been together, and granted, we haven't seen Cam, and we'll talk about him later, on the field in team drills for a few days. And Alex Highsmith has been out for a couple of days with his groin injury. But it's looked better. We've seen the offense gain some rhythm, and that started up front. I don't think anybody has an issue with Zach Frazier or worries about Zach Frazier or thinks Zach Frazier is going to take a step back. If anything, he's just going to continue to improve. We've seen nothing. Have there been early, first couple of days of camp, there were some quarterback exchanges and 2 bad snaps I can think of. Beyond that, not one from him, at least. Mason McCormick is someone who got valuable reps as a guy they weren't counting on playing. James Daniels was going to be their starting right guard. he goes down with injury, Mason has to go in. They don't even look at anybody else in the offseason. It's going to be McCormick as the starter. So McCormick's there, and Fautano's look really good. I mean, there was some rust to knock off, and it seems like every time we talked to him, there was a question about, do we want to, or about his knee. Everything was a step. It was first getting through a couple of practices, feeling okay. Then it was the first non-padded contact, and he felt okay. Going out in the field on screens and being more aggressive, felt okay. First day in pads at camp, felt okay. After a few days, back-to-back days, knock on wood, no issues. Now what happens when he faces somebody he doesn't know? Then there are backups to look for, like a Dylan Cook. Dylan Cook is an extremely athletic tackle who they really like. He's a guy who started his college career as a quarterback and moved out to tackle. He's an enormous man. Injuries really hampered last year. But he's someone they want to take a look at as a swing, especially with the Calvin Anderson injury. Now bringing in Pete kind of tells you there's going to be some competition, but here's an opportunity for a guy like that. That's someone to watch for tonight. Big number 60. What Calvin Anderson, or what Dylan Cook rather, does in this game this evening. Number 2 thing to watch for tonight, the number 2 wide receiver. We won't see him on the field, nor the number 1. DK Metcalf, obviously the number 1 receiver. Calvin Austin being the number 2. But Roman Wilson has put together a couple of days, especially that first day after the depth chart came out, and he had his best practice by far. I mean, he had a play a week ago where he leaped over Joey Porter and made a catch during one-on-one drill, and like, wow, that was cool, and that was about it. But we've noticed him more and more in the action. It coincides with the offense picking up and having more rhythm. But assuming he can play, and he tweaked something at the end of practice, but after practice was over, he was still catching balls. He didn't go over for extra treatment. Doesn't mean he didn't have treatment, and we'll see how he feels today. But assuming he's out there, this is his first chance really in a game. I mean, he played a little bit last year during the regular season, but not like he's going to play today. Then you've got Robert Woods, he's a gritty veteran. He's probably your best blocker, maybe outside of Skoranek. He had the best catch in a couple of days where he laid out for a pass from Mason Rudolph and made a great catch at camp the other day. He's won a Super Bowl, brings something to that room, but does he really add to this team? And then you've got the Skoranek, Scotty Miller part of this. Skoranek family from Connellsville, big guy. It's like he and Scotty are kind of the same players, but with different bodies. And what both of those guys do well are special teams. Scotty Miller is fearless on special teams, and he can return kicks. Skoranek was a big part of their special teams unit. Again, a bigger body, can be a little bit more physical just because of his size than Scotty can. But it's probably those two fighting for one spot. And then there's some guys that were undrafted that you always kind of watch for in the second half of these games. Max Hurlman out of Notre Dame. He looks like a football player, is the best way I can put it. He's built more like a running back, and that's what he was, but he's split out at receiver because of all the competition at running back right now. But he's been steady. He doesn't drop passes. He doesn't make mistakes. Rock Taylor and Keyshawn Williams are 2 undrafted free agents that they liked that sporadically have made plays. And Brandon Johnson is a 3-year guy. I mean, he had a season in Denver where he had 19 catches. He's got some size. Occasionally you see him flash a play here or there. Those are the competition for people outside of what we're normally going to see. So that's the second thing to watch. Third is defensive line. It's a story on the website right now. By the way, this story is out there right now. The Fan 5 things to watch, but also the story about Y.A. Black. It's not often you see a guy that's 6'6" that you think, yeah, he's actually bigger than that. He is a monstrous guy. As Mike Tomlin phrased it, an enormous man. And he's knocking down passes in camp, as you would hope a guy of that size. But there's more to it. There's knowing when there's leverage. There's making sure you get your guy into a position that you can get your hands up. It's reading the plays. Now, is Y.A. Black just kind of reading the routine of different quarterbacks, especially since he doesn't face Aaron Rodgers very often? And that's why he's getting his hands up, because he kind of knows what guys are looking for. That's what we're going to find out in a game like this. We've seen big guys with the Steelers before. No one bigger than Dan McCullers. But Y.A. Black is a guy to watch. Derek Harmon is going to play in this game. He's a starter. No doubt. I don't know how many snaps he's going to go. How does he show up without Cam on the field? Keanu Benton admitted he needs to take a step this year. He wasn't happy with last year. He's going to be out there. Isaiah Loudermilk signed a one-year deal, and he knows this is really it. I mean, making the team is it. Last year, that wasn't as much in doubt, but this year it is. If Ezio can clothesline other people instead of his own teammates, you look for that in this game coming up. And now there's another guy on that defensive line, Logan Lee, who is a late-round pick out of Iowa last year. Injury derailed his entire season. But you see him making plays occasionally. He's got really good leverage. And for a team that needs depth on the defensive line, Logan Lee is a guy you can watch tonight. Fourth thing to watch for tonight. Ben Sauls had a lot of big kicks at Pitt. Kicked in one of the hardest stadiums to kick at in college football. Made clutch kicks. Chris Boswell looking for a raise from the $5 million that he's getting this year. He wasn't even at practice yesterday or on Thursday. So what will you get? Can Ben Sauls go out there? Even if, and I think they're going to get both of these contract things. We'll discuss that next segment. But is he going to go out there and if not the Steelers, show somebody like, okay, this guy's doing it even in a preseason game, but he made some big kicks in college. And you kind of wondered when Sauls decided to stay here and like, man, wouldn't some other team, and we'd kind of heard rumblings but couldn't confirm them about Boswell wanting more money or looking for another contract. And it's like, you wondered if Sauls was an insurance policy of why he didn't explore other options where he may have had more of a competition to kick. So here's Saul's opportunity to go out there. And by the way, he told us the other day that Boswell's been great. He's been giving him little tips here and there, that Chris hasn't just been over by himself. Like, he's been very active. And Sauls is like the little kid in that group. I mean, look at some of the veterans. Even Waitman, I think, is 29. And he and Cam Johnston are in a punting battle, if you want to get into that. I'm not going to try to sell you that that's one of the top things to watch for, but that is something you can watch for because there is a competition between Waitman and Cam Johnston. But Ben Sauls is 4 and 5. Is the best defense ever. Juan Thornhill said that the other day. I know people just thought, what in the world? When he said that, he hadn't sat down and looked at all the stats or all the championships or all the Hall of Famers on different defenses. He was just excited. He's had a couple of picks in camp. He's coming from a place in Cleveland where they stunk, and the fans and media called him Jogging Juan because he didn't go full out on a play last year. As Thornhill describes it, he was playing through injury and he couldn't reach that type of speed. Truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to play a more significant role in that defensive backfield in this game because you won't have Jalen Ramsey, you won't have Darius Slay, you won't have Joey Porter, you won't have Deshaun Elliott. So he's going to be back there with Chuck Clark and Beanie Bishop and James Pierre. He's going to be working with those guys. When he's with those guys, is he noticeable? Can he still be noticeable to where you're like, okay, this guy, maybe this is what we saw a little bit in Kansas City when he had some decent performances with a really good team in the Chiefs. Then you move up on the defense, and Peyton Wilson's really his first chance as a second-year guy to be the guy in the middle. He's got the green dot. He's going to be calling out the signals. He says he knows this defense front and back, that he's one of the world's best coverage linebackers. And he doesn't say this in this, it's almost like this matter of fact, like he believes a lot in his ability. So when he's out there, whether it's with Holcomb or Mark Robinson or whomever it might be, likely one of those two, Malik Harrison could be out there with him as well. How does the defense, does it look organized? Does he look like he's getting guys in the right spot and also playing the way he needs to? That's something to watch for. And we mentioned the defensive line as well. And then you go out to the outside linebackers. You kind of know, you would know what Herbig's going to do, but Herbig's not playing. Highsmith's not playing. TJ Watt isn't playing. An enormous man is number 33. Jack Sawyer, like I was saying about Y.A. Black at 6'6", but looks bigger than that. Jack Sawyer is 6'4", but looks bigger than that. What does Sawyer do? What does Echo do, who's had a nice camp on the outside? Sawyer's already been working some first-team special teams. Like, you expect him to be a part of that, so he's going to get a helmet. What does he do in his opportunities? Does he come out like Herbig did and you immediately know he's there? Can he rush but still stay to his responsibilities? That'll be something to watch. And then the last thing is, I think, the one thing that I really want to see, and that's Caleb Johnson. How does this guy look in an NFL game? Jaylen Warren's not playing. Kenny G probably will play a little bit, but we anticipate a lot of Caleb Johnson in this game. This is a guy who went from starting half of his games to last year, in 1 year, to 21 touchdowns at Iowa, where 21 touchdowns is like 2 seasons worth of touchdowns for the entire team. And he had 21 himself. Can he hold up on protection? Can he do some of the little things? How is he as a pass catcher? Like, those are some things we can watch for tonight as the Steelers open the preseason in Jacksonville. Jeff Hathorn with you. We'll get your thoughts. Who are you looking to see? Who do you think could have a big game? You know, there is no Will Howard to watch. That was taken from us due to a hand injury, because I would think hands down it would have been Will Howard, as what we want to hear Pompiana's voice saying over and over again is Will Howard back to pass. That will not happen. So who are you looking for? Who do you think might be that player in this game? 412-928-9370. Jeff Hathorn with you. We'll also get into, next segment, into Cam Heyward and Chris Boswell. And Your thoughts on their situation, as reportedly, as Cam refused to talk to us after practice, he's looking for a new deal. It has become a hot button issue. I think Andy Lindbergh at 937thefan.com said it well. We'll discuss that. Boswell Plus, your thoughts on players you're looking to watch. Mark Kabali is going to join us a little later. Same with Ray Fittipaldo. And we'll talk a little Pitt football as well, as we are 3 Saturdays from the opening of the season with a city game at Acrisure Stadium. All of that is next. Fan Text Line brought to you by Edgar Snyder & Associates, a personal injury law firm where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Jeff Hathorn with you. It is a Sports Saturday on 93.7 The Fan.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Get the latest on Pittsburgh sports from anywhere with the Odyssey app. Listen to shows and Pirate Games live. Check out our exclusive interviews and content anytime. Download the Odyssey app now and never miss a minute. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
Steelers open their preseason tonight at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The game at 7 o'clock in Jacksonville. Pirates tonight at 6:40 take on the Reds. Pirates winners in 12 of their last 17 look to win the series tonight. 6:40 first pitch, and our coverage on 93.7 The Fan begins at 5:45, presented by Keystone Custom Apparel. Braxton Ashcraft will take on Nick Martinez. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
This is certified elder law attorney Julian Gray. Did you know that if you are a caregiver for a family member at home, that you may be entitled to payment from the government for your services? You are sacrificing a lot to provide care to a loved one, and every month that goes by, you could be missing out on valuable cash benefits for your services. For a no-obligation consultation with one of our certified elder law attorneys, visit grayelderlaw.com. That's grayelderlaw.com.
Call the Pickle, Gherkin Roofing. You need a new roof on a budget? Choose the Atlas Pro-Lam Shingle Package, 130 MPH wind rating, lifetime warranty. Call the Pickle. Need more protection, more color options with the Pinnacle Pristine Shingle with 3M Scotch Guard guarantee? Call the Pickle. Want the ultimate protection? Get the Storm Master Shake Package, 150 MPH wind rating, lifetime pipe boots, 50-year non-prorated warranty. Call the Pickle at Gherkin Roofing, 724-515-5551, or callthepickle.com.
Have a house you're ready to sell? Ryan Jalaba here with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. With over a decade in business and 175 plus 5-star reviews, we've helped people in all different situations get the most money out of their house when they need it. We'll save you time, money, and stress, and we'll even help you move. Call 412-500-9057. Get you a cash offer in as little as 24 hours. That's 412-500-9057, or visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com today.
Hey, Pittsburgh. Got any plans for the weekend? Maybe inviting some friends over and firing up the grill? Or perhaps ordering wings and pizza to watch the game? Well, no matter what you got cooking, you can also plan on earning some cash back with the Upside app. With Upside, you can earn up to $10 cash back at grocery stores and restaurants like Giant Eagle, Market District, and Pizza Hut. The best part? You can combine Upside with your credit card perks and loyalty programs. It's like double dipping your rewards with an extra side of cash back. Download Upside, and for a limited time, get a 10% bonus on your first grocery or restaurant purchase with promo code PITT191. That's promo code PITT191 for an extra 10% cashback bonus. See why Upside users in Pittsburgh have racked up more than $3 million in cash back earned. Whether you're stocking up or winding down for the weekend, make the smart move with Upside. Don't forget to use promo code PITT191. Upside. Cashback smarter. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Get-Go's got it in the bag. Flavor, that is. Dig into their crunchy walking tacos, loaded with savory chili and cheese. Plus, mix and match select sizes of your favorite drink brands for just 2 for $5 or 3 for $7. Get-Go Cafe and Market. Better believe it.
It's Chris Muller, and I'm here with Andy Brady, the Great Lakes Regional President for Verizon, to talk a little bit with him about Verizon's partnership with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Andy, great to talk to you.
Yeah, Chris, good to be with you and the KDK audience. Last year, we started a thing called the VET program, VEBT, and that's veteran debt. We're wiping away veteran debt for people in Western Pennsylvania. In our first year of this, we wiped out 1,073 veterans' debt completely, about $1.3 million in debt. For every win the Steelers have this year, we're going to donate another $100,000 up to $1 million total. It's a great partnership with the Rooney family and with the team with this great program.
Andy, it's a truly great thing that you guys at Verizon are doing for veterans in the area. I appreciate that you guys are doing this. I know they do as well. And I do think let's get the Steelers to 10 wins, and then let's see where we go from there. And again, thanks for what you and Verizon are doing for veterans here in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Chris. See you soon.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills.
Jeff Hathorn with you. It is a fan weekend here on 93.7 The Fan. Buccos come your way at 6:40. Dan Zangrilli with the North Shore Tavern leadoff show at 5:45. Nick Martinez against Braxton Ashcraft. Good that Ashcraft gets a chance to start. And the Pirates look to take a third straight game from the Cincinnati Reds. Got to admit, I'm kind of enjoying, it's football season, but I'm enjoying that they're at least taking out Cincinnati in this matchup. Your thoughts on who are you looking to see tonight in the Steelers preseason game? Is there a player you're watching for, a player you think is going to excel? We listed some names, Caleb Johnson being maybe the easiest of all. Roman Wilson, assuming he's healthy enough to go, is another one that you can chart catches and watch fairly easily. Maybe it's the starting offensive line and the two tackles with Broderick Jones on the left side and Troy Faltano returning. Maybe it's even a Darnell Washington at tight end, as Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth won't play. Russell Wilson won't play for the Steelers, but he did for the Giants. And his first drive, he went 6 of 7 for 28 yards and a field goal for Russell Wilson. Can't say that I missed that from camp. Not that he was a bad guy. I think it was described in Denver as toxic positivity. I wouldn't go as far to say toxic, but there was a part of it that's like, okay. When he went up to Cam Heyward towards the end of last year, I think it was the Cincinnati game, and he was like, that's okay, we'll get him next time, Cam. Yeah, you're not going to see that from from Aaron Rodgers. Been described as the coolest guy in the room. We'll hear from him a little later and what he had to say this week. But Russell Wilson has begun his Giants career. And in the second series, Jackson Dart was out there, but great coverage from DeMar Hamlin on a play that forced a fourth down. We mentioned Cam Heyward. We had watched practices and saw that during the 11-on-11 drills over the last few days, because he was in on earlier 11-on-11 drills, that Cam wasn't out there. Saw him working on the side, and made the comment to somebody about it, maybe it was on Wednesday, or Tuesday or Wednesday, of the very same thought of, man, if this were last year, you'd think he's just holding in. But Mike Tomlin wants to see new guys. I mean, you don't see a ton of TJ Watt out there either. He's 36. He's coming off a great year. What does he need to be out there for? It just, I mean, I'll speak for me here. It's not something that I saw and went, wow, why is Cam not out there in team periods? Oh, they're just giving guys another look. And then you find out from his agent telling Schefter that he's looking for more money. He had just signed a contract. He's got a 2-year extension, 2 years, $29 million, $14.5 a year. He grossly overperformed that contract last year. Grossly. Best defensive tackle in the league last year. Where do you fall with Cam? Because he's done everything you could ask for and 100 times more off the field. He has been solid on it. He is a 10-time captain. However, he did just sign a contract. And yes, he overperformed, but you know, there was some risk there from the Steelers as well. You see defensive linemen, really good ones, that hit 35 and they just fall off a cliff. Cam climbed it. I'm for guaranteed money for these guys. I think their contract stinks. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, can you just say, listen, this guy is different. This is a different dude. We can make an exception for a 10-time captain that, oh, by the way, if so-and-so comes to us and says, well, I had a great year, I want more money too, then we're going to have to worry about this guy. No, you just say it's Cam Heyward. But are you opening up the door if you're the Steelers? With the exception of Ben, they have never given anyone a contract or rearranged it or restructured it with 2 years left. It's tough because there are feelings about that. I wish that the league was incentive-based to where you got a base salary based on how many years. And let's say Cam's would be $3 million, guaranteed base salary. And then you work on incentives. And if you get hurt or have a bad year, you don't get any of that money. But if you perform well, you can climb the ladder. Like servers get better tips when you perform well. Or if you're in sales and you work on commission, you've got to go make money or perform well in order for your salary to increase. The players are never going to agree to something like that. But then that would be a fair one. Or could you have gone last year to Larry Ogunjobi and say, listen, man, you stunk. I'm going to take $7 million from you and give it to Cam. Then it would be a more fair system. Do you just give Cam what he's looking for because of everything he's done, or is that a line in the sand that you're just opening up the door for? 412-928-9370. Let's start with Nick in Mars. Hello, Nick.
Hey, man. Yeah, I disagree with Cam. You know, this is something that he should be mad at his agent. I mean, he could. Why didn't they negotiate having bonuses based off of, hey, if I do this, if I make a Pro Bowl, if I make an all pro, then I get, so and so more money. I mean, basically what they did last year is, it sounds like Cam wanted an extension but was happy with the 3-year $45 million, because I think he thought he was at the end of the line. Then he outplays it, and then he wants more money. That's not how it works, man. And the reason why you can't set this precedent is because then you're right. Then everybody's going to start wanting to do it in the middle of the contract that you signed. You can't say, oh, I played really good, I want more now. But what if the team said, oh, you played really bad, we want to take some of your salary back? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, this is a fine line. This isn't, hey, listen, if you didn't like the terms, then you don't sign the contract, especially a 3-year contract. Now you have 2 years left. It doesn't matter if you played good or bad. That's what you agreed to. So I just think it'll ruin sports because you're going to have quarterbacks sitting out. You're going to have receivers sitting out. You're going to have, it's
kickers.
Just bad for sports. Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. These guys, what it comes down to, too, and I don't want to sound like some blue collar Joe Schmo. That guy has made over $130 million in his lifetime. You're telling me that's not enough? Seriously, you're telling me $15 million a year is not enough? At the end, you're 37 years old. You're about to be done. You played D-line. Are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. And it does make his words, all the things that he said in the past about being a Steeler, being part of this program. Remember what he said about A-Rod? If you don't want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, then don't. It makes him look bad now. He's pulling this before the season. I don't agree. Let him walk if he don't want to play.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate the call. 412-928-9370. We'll go to Jason and Etna. Jason, welcome to the Fan.
You signed it last year. Why didn't you sign it this year? Why didn't you negotiate that shit in? It's fucking calculate.
412-928-9370. So Cam Heyward is holding in, for lack of a better term. We're going to get to a few of your calls next here in a second. I don't know that it, and just to quickly respond, but just to respond to what he was saying, again, 412-928-9370. I don't know that it makes it hollow. What can't like just because he's doing this doesn't mean all the other stuff gets sidetracked or gets pushed to the side. But it is a line. It is a line in the sand. It is a contract he signed. The Steelers did take risk. NFL contracts inherently are not fair. But you did sign for it. It smells to me as like an agent. Like, I've only got him for 2 more years, man. I need another payday. I need some more money from him. Not that Cam totally disagree. And that's where, when I brought up how he declined to comment to us, it would have been easier for him to just go in front of a mic and say, listen, these are my thoughts. This is why I'm thinking this. But this is why I'm still here. This is how much I want. This is how far I want to go with this. Those are some of the questions that we hopefully will get some answers from Cam. Our next opportunity to hopefully talk to him is on Monday. But we'll continue with your thoughts at 412-928-9370. Let's go to Dorian. Dorian's in McKees Rocks. Hello, Dorian.
Hey, good afternoon. A contract's a contract. If you don't honor your contracts, you know that that you're a bum. You broke a contract. When people break a contract, I've signed hundreds of contracts. I've had a lot of employees over the years in many different businesses. Actually, 4. I got 4 now. But hey, I signed a contract. I got to live up to it. You send them, get rid of them.
Have you ever had anyone, Dorian, ask you for more money but still come to work?
It's all negotiated ahead of time. No, I have not had anyone do that. And if anyone did that to me, I'd say, look, you signed a contract. If you're going to break the contract, I don't want you around.
All right. Thanks, Dorian.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got it.
Appreciate the call. 412-928-9370. We go to Joe. He's driving around in the car on this beautiful day. Hey, Joe, welcome to the Fan.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Here's what I think. I think that they ought to try to trade Heyward right now and get what they can, because that is a bad precedent, not just for the Steelers, but just in general. Here's a guy who's the paradigm of a good guy in the community, doing a lot of work for the community, unquestioned, okay? But they dumped Franco in that kind of way, and they should do it with him. It's just like everybody says, it's a contract, and it's not a question of ruining sports, because if the commercial world operated like sports with contracts, nobody would ever have anything guaranteed. And the last guy said, well, I think you brought it up. Have you ever hired somebody that came to work? Well, he's not at work. He's not out there on the field participating. He's not available to play, even if they want him to. It's like having a guy come in, he's on strike, and he'll sit in your building during work hours. He's not working.
It's a tough comp, Joe, because, he's doing all the individual drills. He's there in the meetings. He's a part of all of it, except for about, 16 snaps that he would have taken with team period. So yes. I don't want it to make it seem like he's sitting in the parking lot with a bag of chips watching what's going on. He's there. He's a part of it. This is how he feels his way of getting a last shot at more cash before it's over. And I understand your opinion. Listen, I think like a lot of people, you're kind of like, hey, everybody wants more money, but dude, you signed a contract. And
there's another angle to this. He's out there in front asking the regular, Joe to come up with a couple of bucks out of their pocket for whatever charity he might be huckstering for, and he's out there with Edgar Snyder, huckstering injury calls and injury cases. This guy has had a tremendous opportunity over and over again to do a lot of good things, plus endorsements and a lot of money, and he's making $16 million a year. Okay, how much more does he need? Is what I say.
All right, Joe. No,
okay.
we got
it's just gross.
All right,
okay.
I appreciate it, Joe. We got a bunch of calls. Let's go to Marty in Latrobe. Hello, Marty.
Hey, how are you today?
Good, Marty. You?
I'm doing well. So regarding the Cam Heyward situation, I kind of liked your line and your ideas about, these guys should be playing with a performance base, a certain base, and if you perform to this level, you're going to get this, and so on and so forth. But I think with that, you really open up the door to a lot of selfish play, and then you would have a lot of guys, not that they're not me now, but you'd have a lot more of that going on, and I think that would be a detriment to the team. And as far as Cam Heyward's concerned, yes, great player, great Steeler, but, some nerve to be able to pull that after he just got that new contract. Definitely against it.
Thank you, Marty. Bob in Millvale. Yeah, you too. Bob in Millvale, you're next here on 93.7 The Fan.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Bob.
How many years has Heyward played for the Steelers?
It's going into years 15.
So he's played 14 years. He's had one playoff win, and he's not happy with what he's getting paid? When are they going to take some pride in their playoff performances, Watt and Heyward?
Do you think Cam Heyward is the reason they haven't won more than one playoff game in his career?
Yes.
Really?
Was he one of the stars on those teams?
It wasn't more about quarterback play than it was about Cam Heyward? Now, you can argue now listen, Bob, I'm not going to argue about last year when Baltimore just did whatever they wanted to do running the football. He was obviously a part of that. I would agree. If you want to point to one game in particular where you could say Cam didn't do his job.
His whole career. This team has underperformed for like 10 years. And yes, he's a big part of it. Isn't he the face of the team? He's got a lot of nerve in his 36, 37, and 38 years old asking for more money when you just signed a contract last year. What if he gets hurt? Do we get the money back?
Well, they can release him after a season.
They'll never, and that's another thing, talking about guaranteed money. They will never release Cam Heyward.
No, you're right
never.
about that.
They haven't fired Tomlin. They'll never release Heyward. It will never happen.
Bob,
they will give Heyward as much money as he wants.
Bob, thank you for the call. Let's go to Carl in Homestead. You're next on 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Good, Carl. You?
Hey, I'm all right. Question for you.
Yeah.
Didn't Patterson have a contract and get released last week?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Didn't Patterson have a contract but got released last week?
Yeah, Cordero Patterson you're talking about?
Yeah, wasn't it $3 million that he was owed but didn't get because they released him?
So he gets a part of that because he was on the roster past June.
Okay, now one more question.
Yep.
What's TJ Watt's last contract? Not the new one. Last one he did a sit-in also. Where was all these calls when he did his?
I think there were people upset about, but remember when TJ Watt did that, he was 26 and coming off. I mean, much like Cam coming off a great season, but TJ had not also just signed a new contract the year before.
I understand that.
And I think and Carl, I think that's where I'm finding a lot of people are upset in that. Well, dude, you just signed a contract a year ago. Why didn't you work in some of these incentives?
Well, he's coming off an injury too, so that's why he couldn't work those.
Right.
He was coming off injury.
Carl, are you amazed by some of the reaction here?
I'm totally amazed. I'm totally amazed. Football players aren't guaranteed money. They get cut and don't get money while they have contracts. I'm totally amazed at this.
Yeah,
Carl, he had an all-pro season last season. He's the 18th paid internal lineman in the league, and
all that's fair. But you know, what if DK Metcalf has 100 catches this year for 12 touchdowns, and he and Aaron are just flying together, and he comes back next year and says, "I know I signed this contract, but I need more money."
You know something? That wouldn't even bother me. It's the owners. The better DK Metcalf plays, the more people get in the stands, the more money the owners get.
Thank you, Carl. Fred in Pittsburgh, you're up next here on 93.7 The Fan. Hello, Fred.
Yeah, Jeff, thanks for taking my call, man.
Thank you.
I completely agree with you. I think that Cam Heyward should go for whatever he can get from him. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how people look at this. This guy's been in the league for so long, and, well, I don't even know what to say.
Scotty in Steubenville, you're next on 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Scotty.
You know, he signed a contract, which was a risk for the Steelers at the time, given his age and for the lifespan of defensive linemen in the NFL.
Yep.
But I just really don't feel like there's pressure on the Steelers to give him more money because there's still 2 years left on his deal. And, you know, what's he going to do? Like, he's 35, 36. What's he going to do, sit out? Like, I just can't see him giving up a year of football or giving up another 2 years of football to sit out for more money.
Even if he were to come back next week and nothing changes, do you hold that against Cam, or do you think, like, hey, dude's just looking to get some more money?
Absolutely, I do not hold it against him. I get what he's trying to do, and I respect it. I want him on the team. He was last year was our best player on the team. I want him here. I want him in Pittsburgh.
Scotty, appreciate the call. Let's go to Rick in Plum. Hello, Rick. Welcome to 93.7 The Fan.
How's it going, boss?
Good, man.
I just think it's crazy that people are comparing their union contracts to what Cam has done in the NFL today. This is the precedent. This is what the game has evolved to. When you outperform this, Cam is not the first guy that has done this. He's the heart and soul of his team. We need him. Give him his money.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. We're going to try to get to as many calls as we can here. Doug in Monroeville, you're next here on 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, I'm with the caller before. I think the NFL should have guaranteed contracts 1, 2, or 3 years because of the nature of the physicality of the game. But I'm with Cam for the simple reason of, look, the owners have kind of a one-sided deal. They can sign you for 3 years and then they can cut you like Cordell Patterson. So if you don't have guaranteed contracts and you outperform it, the only way you can get back as a player is to sit out. So, and all these people comparing, Cam is a top 100 NFL player. That means he's the top 100 best at what he does in the world, in America. So compare that to the best financial advisor. How much money does that guy make? And if he has a great year with his clients and he starts charging you an extra 1 or 2%, you're not going to leave. This dude's the best in the world at what he does. You're just going to pay the 1 or 2%. That's the easiest way for people that are normal people, because we have a natural jealousy towards athletes because they make so much money. So you can kind of compare it to your union. You need to compare it to something like financial advisors, top 100 lawyers, people like that.
But Doug, I would make this comparison too. Like with the financial advisor, if he has a horrible year, he's going to lose some money. But Larry Ogunjobi still walked away with $9 million last year when he should have been paid like $2 million.
But the opposite of that is they can cut you. So if Cam had a bad year last year, they could have paid him whatever they're paying him now, and then they can just release him. So that's the downfall of the NFL part. If you have a bad year, the downfall is you get cut. You're out. You don't get the last 2 years of your contract. If you have a good year, there's nothing you can do. So that's what I mean. It's one side. In the NBA, because I'm an NBA fan,
those contracts are ridiculous.
Because it's all guaranteed. So if you sign for 4 years, they got to pay you for 4 years.
Now, of course,
there's nothing they can do.
Now the roster sizes make it a little different as to why those guys get so much money compared to NFL players. But I get what you're saying. Thanks, Doug. Let's get to more calls here. Ian, you're up next here on 93.7 The Fan.
All right, Jeff. I really don't call in often here, but the outrage that I have towards callers like Bob and Joe is insane to me. When we go from the epitome of what it is to be a Steeler and Cam Heyward to these people having some outrage, thinking he's a diva and how much money does he need to earn? It's insane to me, the white knighting that they're having for the ownership, as if like it's their money taken out of their pockets, and then the comparison to their union jobs, which they have for 60 years and whatever it may be. If I get the point, he did sign the contract, right, and he should be more mad at his agent than anything here from negotiating the deal. But you can't fault him whatsoever.
I think it is very hard to have a final opinion on this without knowing how long this is going to be, what the outcome is going to end up being. But Ian, I appreciate the call. It is different. That's what makes this, again, so fascinating, is how different this is from the sports aspect to what we deal with in real life. JD in Uniontown, you're next on 93.7 The Fan.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Hey.
Good afternoon.
What I'm calling is a lot of these people think that it's their money that they're giving to Cam. It is not their money. It is Art II and the minority stake owners. One caller like 3 or 4 ago, well, do we get our money back? No, dude. It's not your money. It's the Steelers' money. A lot of these older people need to calm down. This isn't the old Steelers. This is the new Steelers. Contracts, they're guaranteed now. What are you going to do?
And JD, maybe that's, and I appreciate the call, maybe that's the point of this here, is maybe Cam's like, hey, they've done a lot of things they haven't done before. I'm going to see if they're going to maybe restructure my deal. Tom in Pittsburgh, you're up next on 93.7 The Fan.
I say absolutely not. He signed a contract. He really has to honor that contract. He's nothing but a huckster. It just goes around trying to just get money and, glad hand everybody. I mean, they should kick him right in the ass out the door.
Tom, I appreciate the call. Huckster is not the right word. Cam does do a ton of charity work, and he's not a huckster. If I'll defend anything about Cam Heyward, he is at every charity event. He will help out anybody with events as much as he possibly can. Huckster is not a word I would use to describe. If you're upset with him wanting more money, I get that, but I think you could separate what he has done in the community and what he's looking for now. Chris in Swissvale, you're next.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, Chris. You?
Hey, I'm real well. No, I don't. You signed a contract. Go talk to your agent. And the second thing is, okay, the playoff games that he's played in, how many points have the opposition run up on this defense while he's the anchor of it?
A hell of a lot of points.
Like a zillion. So I don't want to hear about he's the heart, he's the soul. If they cut him right now and kept the money, they're not going to be any different than their final results at the end of this year would be exactly zero different.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think he does impact. And, yeah, you can look at the Baltimore game and say, yep, he was on the field. They got run over. That's a problem. But
300 yards. He should give them a refund.
Thank you, Chris. Tom and Wexford, you are next, and we'll get to Ron next, and then we've got Mark Kabali coming up. Hey, Tom, you're on the air on 93.7 The Fan. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think two things can be true at once here. One, Cam Heyward is 36 years old, had a fantastic year, and he outplayed his contract. The other side of that coin is that he signed the deal 11 months ago, and you know what? Frankly, I don't think he's got a right to complain. Someone said, oh, well, T.J. Watt held up. T.J. Watt was 26 and far and away was, at that time, was considered the best defensive player in the league. And two, I get it from his perspective. He was in the last year of his deal looking to extend. Cam Heyward just got a new deal and has this year plus next. I don't see the issue. He signed a bad deal in his eyes, but that's on him. You put pen to paper, you gave your word, you put your pen to paper, stick with it. If he goes out and has another first team All-Pro year this year, then let's talk again, and I'm all for it. But yeah, for right now, this is I don't think he really has any reason to be complaining other than to his agent and kicking himself for signing a deal that he doesn't like anymore, which at the time he was very happy with, apparently.
Tom, thank you. We'll get to Ron here in New Brighton. Ron, I am sorry that one of your best products ever is facing a 0-2 hole for the Reds here in Terry Francona. How are you, Ron?
Oh, hey, how you doing, bro?
Good.
Hey, he signed that contract, right?
He did.
If he wants more money, how about cutting his brother and giving him that money?
I think that's the place to end this, Joel. Thank you for all the calls. It's a fascinating, and I want to give people's opinions. Just let them out there. That's what we do. It is a conversation that has so many different mindsets and management against union and sports contracts and NFL contracts and a guy who's great in the community, but you may hate what he's doing right now. It's listen, he's one of Pittsburgh's most beloved athletes over the last couple of decades, and he's looking for more money. We'll get into more of those thoughts. 412-928-9370. Fan Twitter brought to you by South Hills Kia in Peters Township. Visit them at southhillskia.net. Fan Weather brought to you by the Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. Temps in the upper 80s tonight for Pirates, Reds at 640. Temps in the low 80s for Steelers, Jags, and Jacksonville, although down there's a chance of rain. Up here, we're looking pretty good. Mark Kabali is going to join us when we continue. We'll get more into this team that we're going to see this year and maybe a little bit of his thoughts on Cam as well. It is a Sports Saturday. Jeff Hathorn with you here on 93.7 The Fan.
Now, fan headlines. Powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
6:40 for Pirates and Reds tonight on the North Shore. Braxton Ashcraft will take on Nick Martinez. 5:45 is the North Shore Tavern leadoff show with Dan Zangrilli. Steelers tonight open their preseason in Jacksonville at 7 o'clock. Headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. For more, go to 937thefan.com.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop. That's because your Macy's store has back-to-school essentials at incredible prices, like complete looks from Epic Threads, Levi's, and Abercrombie Kids. Character outfits from Hello Kitty, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse. Plus, backpacks from JanSport and High Sierra. The best part? Get it all for 25 to 50% off. That's right, up to half off. But hurry in. These back-to-school deals end Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Famous Footwear has the latest styles from all my favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. And with over 830 stores, Famous Footwear is always nearby with fit experts to make sure my new shoes fit my feet and mom's budget. She says the prices are like really good, so you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Right now, buy one pair of shoes, get one half off at your local Famous Footwear store. Some exclusions apply.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Hold on tight, rodeo fans. It's time for the North Washington Rodeo. 5 nights of nonstop rodeo action August 12th through the 16th at the North Washington Rodeo Grounds, Route 38 North in Butler County. Get your tickets early and save. Don't miss it.
Goodbye summer means hello deals here at the gorgeous new Crown Mitsubishi in Washington. 0% financing for 60 months is back on the 7-passenger Outlander. Outlander Sport and Eclipse Cross, 3.99% financing. Outlander Hybrid, just $269 a month or take over $10,000 off. Plus that great warranty and 2 years of prepaid maintenance. Winning team, customer-driven, world-class facility. The bow tie means a better buy. CrownMitsubishiPA.com. See the for details on all offers.
Hey, it's Malsey. Let's talk about the roof on your home. A lot of you will need to replace your roof this summer, but be forewarned. There are roofing companies out there that skip over the most important part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if your attic doesn't have proper air circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and wood rot, leaks in the winter, not to mention higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I recommend MHI Roofing to my listeners. Their process begins with a free 21-point roof inspection that includes a thorough inspection of your attic. They know that if the ventilation isn't right, the roof will be built on a shaky foundation. Every MHI roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and estimate today. 412-998-8864 or book an appointment online at mhiroof.com.
It's the second annual KDK Radio Kickoff Classic live at the Wolverina, presented by Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union. The best high school football showcase to begin the 2025 season on Friday and Saturday, August 22nd and 23rd. North Allegheny versus Woodland Hills, Central Catholic versus LaSalle College on Friday. On Saturday, it's McKeesport versus Delaware Valley, Steel Valley versus Westinghouse, and Elizabeth Forward versus West Mifflin. $13 per ticket or weekend passes, just $25. Get your tickets at kdkradio.com.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here. It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. You see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there? That's all I paid for it.
Let me get back to you on that. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. And check out our other great deals at your Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends September 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Duquesne Pilsner, the Prince of Pilsners. Born
Began on the south side of Pittsburgh in 1899. A crisp and refreshing American Pilsner brewed right here in Pennsylvania. Expertly brewed with the finest malts and a superior selection of hops. Pairs well with all things Pittsburgh. Or try Duquesne LT. Full-flavored, smooth, and refreshing, but only 96 calories. Next time you reach for a cold one, grab a Duke. This beer is made possible by the Duquesne Brewing Company. Remember to drink responsibly. Cheers.
Get a better pharmacy experience right inside your Sam's Club. Friendly, knowledgeable pharmacists are here to help, and most prescriptions are ready in under 20 minutes. Can't make it in? Choose same-day prescription delivery. All the value you expect from Sam's Club is at the pharmacy too. And Plus members save even more with over 600 generic prescriptions for $10 or less. Pick up your prescriptions and all your club favorites in one easy trip when you join Sam's Club today. Terms and conditions apply. See samsclub.com/pharmacy or your local Sam's Club pharmacy for details.
Attention Greater Pittsburgh. Are you tired of dealing with a garage door that just won't cooperate? Locally owned and operated Precision Garage Door in Imperial at 8179 Steubenville Pike and their McMurray location has a fantastic offer. For a limited time with approved credit, you can enjoy 12 months same as cash financing and pay nothing for a full year. When you need a new door, call Precision, America's largest residential garage door repair and installation company. Precision trucks are loaded and ready to go 24/7. Their expert technicians will ensure your garage door operates smoothly and efficiently, regardless of brand. All that plus this amazing offer. 12 months, same as cash. Call 1-844-345-4737 now. On the web, it's pittsburghgaragedoors.com.
Precision Door Service, a name you can
Contractor
trust.
license PA 060566.
Are you passionate about youth hockey but facing financial barriers? The Assisted Goals Foundation helps to provide funds for those who need it. We believe that every player deserves a shot at their dreams, regardless of financial circumstances. Scholarship applications are now open through the Assisted Goals Foundation. Don't let costs keep your child from hitting the ice. Visit our website, assistedgoals.org, to learn more and apply today. Together, we can break down the barriers and keep the love of hockey alive. Not in need, but love the sport and want to pay it forward? You can also donate online at assistedgoals.org today.
Pittsburgh. Are you ready to relive the magic? Almost Queen, a tribute to Queen, is taking the stage at Rivers Casino on Friday, September 19th. Experience the look, the power, and all the legendary hits all in one place. From Bohemian Rhapsody to Another One Bites the Dust, you'll be dancing all night long. Visit riverscasino.com for tickets. And don't miss Almost Queen, a tribute to Queen live. We'll see you there.
Why wait weeks or even months to service your vehicle? Introducing Car Care Express at Mike Hamlin Hyundai in Greensburg. Servicing almost every make and model. No appointment necessary. Come in today. Is your check engine light on? Come in today. Oil changes, brake and tire service, filters, fans, belts, fluids, you name it. Our technicians are ready to service your vehicle today. Plus, new Hyundai owners receive complimentary maintenance. No appointment necessary. No phone call needed. Service your vehicle today with Car Care Express at Mike Hamlin Hyundai in Greensburg.
Text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates text line at 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly. Your hometown building partner since 1956, 84 Lumber. Visit 84lumber.com. Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
All right, Joel Nelson for Fan Headlines. Pirates tonight take on the Reds at 6:40. 5:45 is the North Shore Tavern Leadoff Show with Dan Zangrilli. Steelers open their preseason tonight at the Jaguars at 7 o'clock. More headlines at 937thefan.com. Mark Kabali joins the show next.
93.7 The Fan is cleared by aquickdrain.com.
93.7 The Fan, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDK, and WAMO 107.3 are partnering to support Pittsburgh public school students for the school year by providing stuffed backpacks for the Pittsburgh for PPS. Hashtag Pittsburgh for PPS. Backpack Drive presented by Target Freight Management. You can support by purchasing backpacks and dropping them off at a location near you. For details, visit 937thefan.com. Brought to you by GBU Life, life insurance, annuities, and member benefits since 1892, and Rugby Realty. Jeff Hathorn with you here on a sports Saturday on 93.7 The Fan, and I've got the Giants-Buffalo game up. and it's like watching the cradle of past Steeler quarterbacks. Russell Wilson starts for the Giants, and now Mitch Trubisky is in for the Bills. And we've got a game tonight at 7 o'clock. We're joined by Mark Kabali from the Pat McAfee Show, who is so excited about watching some of these guys play. Aren't you, Mark?
What's up, Joe? Oh, I thought the 10 minutes late was just meant Starkey was sitting in for you.
That's 10 minutes, 45 seconds to you.
Or
yeah, we got Mark. Hold on. First aside, the reason I got to you so late is it's amazing the reaction to the Cam Heyward situation. I mean, it really is, to listen to different people's viewpoints on it. Like, different ages have different thoughts. Union guys feel differently than. I mean, it's been fascinating to me to hear fans react, and I'm sure you get it too. I can only imagine what people have come up to you and asked about with Cam.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. People are, for the most part, are disappointed that a guy that just signed a contract wants more money, is not happy with it. I get it, but I mean, I also understand Heyward's point of view too. I mean, he did overperform his contract last season. However, he could have avoided this. Oh, Jeff, if he just didn't sign a 3-year deal last year, right? He could have handled it, I think, a little better. Obviously, this has been going on more than 3 days, right? To put it out like he did at that point and just leave it hanging there and didn't explain himself to anybody, including us, afterwards, just seems like a misstep in my opinion. So he really didn't get much. The way I look at it, Jeff, is I don't think he trusted himself last year coming back from that injury. But he really didn't get that much of a raise, if anything, last year. He just got guaranteed money. So he was thinking, if I got hurt, at least I got this guaranteed money and I could walk off into the sunset. And now it's like, okay, I played well. I'm an all-pro type of guy. Now this contract isn't good enough. I could see why. I mean, to me, Jeff, this is Pittsburgh, man. This is Pittsburgh in a darn nutshell. You want good players, but you don't want to pay good players. Same thing happened with T.J. Watt. I'm guessing the only person that would be absolved from that right now might be Paul Skeens, that people want to pay him and wouldn't be upset about paying him. But I think something works out. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. Guaranteeing Cam's contract next year and give him a couple $1 million in advance so both of them save face. He gets his money. The Steelers say, hey, we're not negotiating here. We're just, advance your salary a little bit. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
What about with Boswell?
I think that's just, you let that just sit, brother. I don't even engage him in conversations. There's a great Ed Bouchette.
Are you talking about as a reporter or as someone with the Steelers?
No, the Steelers.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
As the great Ed Bouchette would say, he's a kicker. I understand he's the best kicker in the league right now, but you are not going to go against your, what's it been, 20 years now, 30 years now, your thoughts of renegotiating in season and say, okay, Chris Boswell, you can be the exception to that. Bottom line, he's still a kicker.
But it's a new look. It's a new look Steelers. They've done a lot of things they've never done or rarely done in the past. But you think, and I agree with you here. I think that's one of those rules that they're not gonna change.
Because I think a lot of that was a Dan Rooney, old man Rooney concept, and they're not going to go against that. Just like they're not going to renegotiate in season as well. I mean, that's just some core values they believe in. Right, wrong, indifferent. That's what they believe in. So how can you go against that? So I still don't. I'm like, thanks, Boz, but we'll talk to you next March. That's what I do.
Or what we've seen the last couple of days from Aaron Rodgers and the offense, more about Aaron Rodgers and the offense, or more about Slay, Jalen Ramsey, Heyward, Watt, Highsmith not being on the field?
Yeah, you don't want to see me swinging any clubs. I'm here at the Phil Maines golf outing here in Rolling Fields. So somebody wants me to play golf, and I'm like, that's not going to happen. But
you used to threaten to do that at the facility, like give you a 5-iron, you could hit it across the facility. You used to say stuff like that.
Oh, I could. I don't know if it was a 5-iron.
Here's your chance to prove it.
Oh, I can guarantee you hit it across the river.
Across the river?
Oh, well, probably with a driver. There's no doubt. I mean, give me like 20 balls, 20 swings at it. Yeah. How far is across the Mon River?
I don't know. It's probably 250 yards.
I can come close. I might swing and miss 8 times, but I might get into one of them. As for your question, do you want me to be negative or do you want me to be positive?
No, I just want your I want your opinion of like I'll give you mine to start with. I think there is some rhythm that's coming to the offense. Like guys are starting to get on the same page. I think some of that starts up front. But you can also point to the fact that the secondary is not the same secondary we saw the first week and a half of training.
Yeah, that's why I think it's hard to make that decision right now. The offense has looked better. I mean, Roman Wilson's looked better. Rodgers is throwing the ball a lot better, a lot more accurately. But then you're like, no Jalen Ramsey, no Darius Slay. For the most part, no JPJ.
That's Slay to you.
Slay, my fault. So I think it's a little bit of both. If I was forced to give my true belief here, I think it might have a little bit more to do with who's not playing on that side than the Steelers coming around, although they are coming around some. Too bad we can't figure out tonight, because obviously nobody's playing here. But I think they're getting better, baby steps. But I just think this defense, especially that secondary, especially that cornerbacks, are huge difference makers. And I think we've seen that over the past week.
I am surprised so far with what, maybe not what Aaron has been saying, but what the team has said about Aaron almost consistently as far as like wanting to get to know them, being down to earth. Has anything about Aaron being with the Steelers surprised you?
No. I mean, he's been the model citizen, right? Saying everything right, interacting with everybody, which leads me to the initial point is we hear so many horror stories. Are they really horror stories before you came in here? That's why you should probably reserve the right of judging a person until you set your eyes on, until you see them interacting right now. I mean, he seems to me like he has carefree out there. He's out there having fun. He knows this is going to be his last year. I guess mostly likely going to be his last year. Out there having fun, being with the guys, helping people out. Everything he's done. I mean, Russell Wilson came in here last year and did very similar to that. But there was always something in the back of your mind that said, yeah, Russell's putting on the show. I know he's putting on the show, but at least he's trying. Aaron, to me, just seems like he's just being himself. 100% being himself. He wants to play football. He doesn't want to be GM. He doesn't want to bring his own people in. He doesn't want to run the organization. He don't want to be the guy that, is the difference between winning and losing. That's more of the defensive job right now. So but he hasn't really encountered any
right.
negativity.
There's been no adversity. They haven't had to deal with any adversity at this point, and that's very much worth pointing out because everything can be sunshine and roses when there's no game, there's no result, there's no loss. But
they cleaned up that locker room pretty nice. Is there anybody in that locker room you think would create issues if they're struggling?
I mean, beyond Cam?
I mean, offensively. I mean, there's nobody there to say, yeah, watch out for this guy, man. He's going to become a problem if they start losing. I just don't see that right now. Maybe somebody emerges like that, but, I mean, maybe on that backside, maybe. I mean, Jalen Ramsey has played – he's been very quiet. He hasn't talked to many people at all. He hasn't really talked to the fans much at all. And we've heard some of the stories about him and seen some of the stories about him in the past. Maybe he's a guy on that on the defensive side of the ball that things aren't going right starts chirping. I mean, once again, but he's shown nothing to that ilk right now.
I do like the accountability that Rodgers has had, meaning if a guy runs a wrong route, he's not afraid to go up to them and talk to them about it. Or if somebody like Darnell had a really nice block on a beanie blitz on Thursday, and he was putting his fist in the air and came over and congratulate. There seems to be a lot of both sides, not just accountability, but players have also said that he takes blame for a lot of things. And how many quarterbacks have you ever said, all the new quarterbacks we've had come in, I've never had one say, listen, I really don't know the plays yet. The center is helping me out with the plays. Like, to just be comfortable enough to say something like that was surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely saying everything right now and doing everything right. Even what he said about Roman Wilson the other day, he's like, I think he's too worried about impressing me or something like that. And I told him, dude, just be yourself out there. I mean, could you see anybody else of the quarterbacks over the past 7 years saying that? I mean, you have to understand, Roman Wilson was he 23? I mean, was he 2 or 3 years old when Aaron Rodgers was born? So you're actually playing, not only seeing your hero, meeting your hero is throwing you a pass. So I could see how somebody gets a little flustered at first there, but but bottom line, Jeff, it's always going to be judged on what he does on the field come September 7th. I mean, we could say, oh, you guys talked all about how great he was. How does that happen now? Because,
there's no adversity.
This offense is scoring 8 points a game or whatever. This offense hasn't been great. I mean, let's call it for what it is. I mean, this offense has not been something you're like, this is going to be a tough offense to stop. If there's one downfall, I could see, this offense really struggling early in the season.
And here we are again with the same type of script. Listen, for Aaron Rodgers, 21 years in the league, Caleb Johnson has been on earth for 21 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he the guy that you're looking forward to seeing the most, or think you might be able to get something from his performance the most tonight?
You should be able to get a good view, considering 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are playing, and not a schlub quarterbacks behind you either. I mean, Mason has proved he can do it, so you should be able to get a good feel, especially against most of the ones, right? Isn't Jacksonville playing most, if not all, of their
That's what we hear,
top players? So you should be able to get a view of that. But I'd like to see Darnell Washington take it to that step from practice, the OTA's minicamp practice, now into a game action. That might be difficult and limited action. And I probably want to get Galbraith and Heyward some snaps here and keep him kind of preserved. But, yeah, I'd like to see Caleb Johnson. I'd like to see Darnell. It's going to be maybe tough for Roman early on because he's basically their only wide receiver of note out there, unless you want to talk about the Rock of Gibraltar, right? The defensively, I mean, you have to look at the defensive line, right? You get Y.A. Black and Dark Harmon. See if
Logan Lee even.
I'm not too concerned about Peyton Wilson. I think he can handle it. I think he's shown that he can handle pretty much of everything. But I'd like to see with somebody like I can't think of his name. Jack
Sawyer.
Well, I was thinking Jack Sparrow. I'm thinking, I've never watched that movie before. Jack Sawyer is able to do it. And even DeMarvin Leal. I know a lot of people were down on him, but I see him making more plays this camp than he has the previous 3 combined.
And we're joined by Mark Kabali from the Pat McAfee Show, the sandwich tosser at training camp. Broderick Jones, what is your confidence level with him?
He's getting better. I'm not really. You can be a little bit concerned, which you saw in that first week of camp, but I'm not really worried yet. I think he still has enough talent. That's why he might struggle tonight. Who knows? I don't think you're just going to say write him off if he struggles, because you don't have really much behind that. I mean, I don't think they're too thrilled with giving the job to Dylan Cook at this time, right?
Right.
So I would just have to be a little bit patient with him, just see the baby steps what he's taken over the past couple of weeks here. Just, don't have free runners at Mason, and I think that's good. I mean, he hasn't practiced a ton, but I think he's not going to be great this year, I don't think. But I think if he's more than, above average or average, I think they can get away with it. It's not good to say about a 14th overall pick, but if he's above average, I'll take that right now.
When ESPN comes on the air on 8 o'clock on Monday, will there be any time devoted to anything else other than Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, apparently they found a new superstar. When was anybody will ever learn that the Kenny Pickett days? I mean, if you take anything out of the preseason, what you see happens here, I'll just say Kenny Pickett. I mean, it was the first game. Did he look okay? Yeah. Playing against the Carolina Panthers, but yeah. Apparently Shedeur's not getting set up to fail now, right? Is that all I heard?
There's someone who ate a whole pumpkin pie today with a big smile on his face.
I hate pumpkin pies.
Right. Seriously, what is he doing eating pumpkin pie every day? I mean, he's got the slick back hair. Mel Kiper's got everything, but he loves him some pumpkin pie every day. And his over-the-top take, he's going to be like, he'll be even more over the top after a preseason game.
Yeah. Is he even work during the regular season?
I don't know.
No, it might be down there making some more. But where do you get these pumpkin pies from? The Giant Eagle in Baltimore or something? I mean, do you get daily pumpkin pies delivered to you? I mean, it's one game. I guess it was mostly 3/4 of one game. Once again, good start, but that doesn't mean anything. Let them start Shedeur Sanders. Wait till they start game planning. Once they play something more than, man or cover two, and they disguise stuff. Then come talk to me. Until then, he is what he is.
Just go show these guys that you can play golf. Come on, give them what they're paying for.
No, Donnie Football's here.
Yeah?
Donnie Football just rolled in. I don't think so. I don't know. There's a lot of legends here today. Pat McAfee's here. Nick Morello, Phil Maines, Pat McAfee Show, Troy Beck from the chicken store downtown. What's that called? Born to Fly or something like that. A lot of people here.
By the way,
people I don't know. People making fun of me for getting stuck in the stuck in the grass. First guy looked at me, goes, "Hey, did you park in the gravel out there?" I said, "Yeah, thanks. I found a spot." Then I'm like, he's making fun of me. I get it.
Yeah, they're clever. Last call we had before we got to you, by the way, was someone saying if Cam's so worried about more money, they could cut his brother and give him his money. That's who we've gotten to.
Yeah. Maybe they should it's like $1 million, right? I mean, he's in the final year, so it's probably $2 million or whatever.
It's been
I'm sure. Honestly, Jeff, you guarantee next year and you bump up some of that money to this year and you're happy. Like I said, I just don't like for a guy that comes out and says you either want to be a Steeler or you don't want to be a Steeler, then does this at this time when everything seems to be clicking here. Because we just did this 2 months ago. Did he have to go public with it? That's the only issue I have with it. Just keep it in-house then.
Kaboom, enjoy your stardom out there.
Yeah. I'll be watching the game with Archie wings in my mouth tonight. So.
Oh, that's right. You have a watch party tonight down at Archie's.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go to Jacksonville with 19 people not starting. Nothing like writing a story on J.J. Galbraith.
It's going to have a big game. Thanks, Kaboom.
All right. See you, Jeff.
All right. Mark Kabali from the Pat McAfee Show joining us. Yeah, you can go out to Archie's and join him for his watch party tonight. Fan text line brought to you by Edgar Snyder & Associates, personal injury law firm, where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Before we get to the break, Ron, you've been hanging on in Penn Township. We'll get to you and open up the phone lines at 412-928-9370. Hey, Ron.
It's an honor to talk to you. I've talked to everybody but you. So
well, good to talk to you, Ron.
Yeah. So a quick question. Do you think the Steelers did Cam Heyward a favor last year?
By giving him a 2-year deal at $14.5 million?
Yes. Coming off an injury and his age, do you think they did him a solid?
I thought it was a team-friendly deal where there was risk on both sides, and it was Heyward that ended up being hosed by the deal in the long run, but it could have been the Steelers.
Right. So I'm assuming you're saying that the Steelers did take a chance and took their star and banked on him. He balled out. He had a great year. There's no doubt about it. There's no guarantee he's going to do that again. But the two words I will say, and I said this to Pony on Thursday, is collectively bargained. No one has any stake in this other than owners, unions, and players. If the owners get what they want, it's really the union's fault, and then the agent's fault, and then the players' fault. Really, the owners are really taken out of it. So it's collectively bargained. Until that changes, the owners can do the things they do. So it's really on the player to make sure his union is taking care of him, and also his agent is, have some back end deals. But I bet you if Heyward went to the Steelers and said, "Hey, I want like $3 million. Can you give me like $3 million?" They would probably do it. But I'm really questioning what he wants. No one knows.
Yeah, I wish he would have told us. I wish he just would have gone in front of a mic and said, "Here's the deal. Here's what I'm looking for." Not to give up negotiating leverage if he would be at all, but at least give the fans an idea of, okay, this is where my mind's at. This is what I'm looking for, and if I don't get it, I'm going to show up and play, and I think that's all going to happen. I think Mark Kabali is right. I think they're going to end up figuring out something, and I don't think it's going to be that much money. Ron, thanks for the call. 412-928-9370. We open up the lines for your thoughts on Cam Heyward, on this game. Jackson Dart, by the way, 12 of 19 for 154 yards and a touchdown and 24 yards rushing for the Giants against the Bills. Do any of these preseason numbers worry you about what Shador did last night or Jackson Dart? We can talk about that as well. It is a Sports Saturday. 412-928-9370. Jeff Hathorn with you here on 93.7 The Fan.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. You listen to them every day. Now you can watch them too on the Fan video stream powered by Bowser. Catch your favorite 93.7 The Fan hosts live on the Fan video stream. Just hit up 937thefan.com. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
6:40 tonight from PNC Park. The Pirates take on the Reds. 5:45 is the North Shore Tavern leadoff show with Dan Zangrilli, where it's Braxton Ashcraft getting the start for Pittsburgh up against Nick Martinez for Cincinnati, as the Pirates have won 12 of their last 17. Steelers open their preseason tonight, taking on the Jaguars at 7 o'clock. That game being played in Jacksonville. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. For more, go to 937thefan.com.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 9 as the Pittsburgh kid Neil Walker joins the Fan Morning Show. Tune in or listen on the Odyssey app as Neil gives you the latest on our Pirates. The Neil Walker Show brought to you by Mike Hamlin Hyundai, Goodrich & Guys, Pittsburgh's personal injury attorneys, and Bet365 on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan gets your day started with the latest in Pittsburgh sports with the Fan Morning Show with Doran Dickerson and Adam Crowley. Weekday 5:40 to 10. Presented by Guardian Protection on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit NJM.com for a quote. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Your new Going Gone by Dick's Sporting Goods is now open in Bridgeville. Don't miss your chance to score up to 70% off top brands like Nike, Adidas, Jordan, Under Armour, Kalia, and more. Shop deals on thousands of styles for the whole family, for everything from athletic gear to clothing and shoes from your favorite brands. Join Dick's Scorecard to earn points and rewards and find new markdowns at arrivals every week. Score on style and save big at your new Going Gone, now open in Bridgeville.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1274. That's 800-587-1274. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1274. That's 800-587-1274 today.
You've been called many things.
Is that
the president of three-card poker, the baron of baccarat, and sometimes the sultan of slots. But no matter who you are, you know there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New BetParx casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, located in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan. New users only. TCs apply. See site for details. Casino bonus must be wagered.
Here's Sports Radio 93.7 The Fans, Fan About Town. See the world's top youth baseball players compete at the Princegate Pony League World Series, August 8th through the 13th at Lou Hayes Pony Field in Washington Park. It's a week full of incredible plays, home runs, and unforgettable moments. Plan your trip today at GoWashco.com. Looking for an incredible Pittsburgh fresh-made hoagie? Visit Tim's Corner Market in Beachview. Fresh house-made bread stacked high with the finest meats and premium toppings and packed with Pittsburgh flavor. The hoagie you didn't know you needed at Tim's Corner Market on Broadway Avenue in Beachview. Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save. For more information, visit 937thefan.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
Goodbye summer means hello deals here at the gorgeous new Crown Mitsubishi in Washington. 0% financing for 60 months is back on the 7-passenger Outlander. Outlander Sport and Eclipse Cross, 3.99% financing. Outlander Hybrid, just $269 a month or take over $10,000 off. Plus that great warranty and 2 years of prepaid maintenance. Winning team, customer-driven, world-class facility. The bow tie means a better buy. CrownMitsubishiPA.com. See the for details on all offers.
Planting a tree, putting in a fence, whether your project is big or small, Columbia Gas reminds you, know what's below and contact 811 at least 3 business days before you dig. Your utility companies will mark any underground lines near your work area. Contacting 811 is free for homeowners and it's the law. Avoid possible penalties, costly repairs, or injuries. Safety is in your hands. Every dig, every time. For more information, visit ColumbiaGasofPA.com.
Hold on tight, rodeo fans. It's time for the North Washington Rodeo. 5 nights of nonstop rodeo action, August 12th through the 16th at the famous North Washington Rodeo Grounds, Drew 38 North in Butler County. See top cowboys and cowgirls compete for huge prize money in bull riding, barrel racing, bronc riding, and more. Get your tickets early and save. Visit NorthWashingtonVFD.com today. The North Washington Rodeo. Don't miss it.
Ready to own your year? Score this season's hottest brands at Dick's House of Sport. Shop the latest from FP Movement, Jordan, On, Nike, and more. And check out over 2,000 footwear styles to nail your first day fit. Plus, visit Dick's House of Sport to test your skills in the multi-sport cage. Choose from over 300 plus styles at House of Cleats. Or get your gear fine-tuned with steaming, customization, re-gripping, restringing, and more. Own the moment this year at Dick's House of Sport.
Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills.
Sports Saturday here on 93.7 The Fan. Jeff Hathorn with you. We'll take your calls, 412-928-9370. We'll get Ray Fittipaldo's thoughts on some of the things Steelers tonight coming up at the top of the hour. Stephen Thompson, one of the beat writers for the Pitt Panthers from the PG, is going to join us after that. Well, you know, they're 3 Saturdays away from opening the season. We're now just barely over a month away from the backyard brawl. We'll get some thoughts on what Pitt looks like as well. But we have time for your thoughts. I want to bring this up from last night. I'm sure you saw something on some form of social media or somewhere on the web or just running into somebody. A certain quarterback was 14 of 23 for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Shedeur Sanders, I mean, he had himself a game. In a preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, but he threw a couple of touchdowns, and both of those passes were threaded. And they were good throws. He says he feels like himself again, being able to go out there with the guys and feeling like, you know, he's just out there doing his job and doing what he does. And he doesn't worry about the depth chart. He prepared for it like it was the Super Bowl. Any of you thinking, after one preseason game, boy, they screwed up. Mel Kiper was right. He's going to be a star. Or would you look, as Kaboom brought up about Kenny Pickett previously in a preseason game, or Blake Bortles, or some of the other notable people that have had big preseason games. And do you look at this and go, oh, man, this is really going to hurt. This is someone they should have signed. Look at what Shedeur did. It's early. It's one preseason game against a bad team. I think that's what you have to remember. Kudos to him, man. He went out there. He threw a couple of scores, moved the ball down the field. Don't take that away. But from Blake Bortles to Kenny Pickett to others who have had big preseason games. Relax. Back in the day, Brian St. Pierre had big preseason games. Jim Miller had big preseason games. But you know it's going to be crammed down our throats over the next week? Shedeur Sanders. And we saw, you see the notables. Obviously his father, it's his dad. Coming out and tweeting, and LeBron coming out and tweeting. But it's a preseason game. It is a preseason game that we're discussing. I mean, it's Brett Hundley back in 2015 threw for 236 yards and 4 scores in a preseason game. Mark Ingram had a huge preseason game, and I'm looking at a story from oddschecker.com from a few years ago, and it mentioned that Blake Bortles, Blaine Gabbert having a huge preseason. Raheem Mostert had a big preseason at running back. Remember Marcus Rush? Yeah, there's my point. He had 6 sacks in 4 preseason games. Marcus Rush. Remember wideout Stephen Williams? Man, what a career. Remember all those games he played in and all those championships he won? He had 7 catches for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns in a preseason for Cincinnati. How about Henry Josie? Jolie, you remember Henry Josie?
I've never heard of him.
Yeah. Undrafted out of Missouri. Averaged 6.5 yards a carry. Look out, man. This guy is going to kill it in the league. I'm not saying Shedeur is Henry Josie. Man, I hope that someone, the worldwide leader, will go, okay, it's a preseason game. And it's a preseason game against Carolina. Alas, that is not what is going to happen. You might even see Mel come out of hibernation and say, this is what I was talking about at the draft. Maybe he has a great career, and he does turn Cleveland around. Guys, it's one preseason game. Jackson Dart has the stats. I mentioned 154 yards passing and a half. Not even in a full half, in 4 drives. Against Buffalo's second, or I don't even know what team defense. You worry that Jackson Dart's going to be? We won't hear much about Jackson Dart as we will Shedeur, just because he moves the needle. I just don't. I don't look at this and go, man, they screwed up. They should have drafted Shedeur. I'm still okay with the thought process of improve the lines, which they needed to do. In this case, defensive line, because they've spent so much on the offensive line over the last couple of years. They've helped fortify that. Got a potential tailback. A potential pass rusher. Some D-line depth. So I feel better about what they're doing, but I'm not freaking out about Shedeur having a big preseason game. It's a preseason game. We'll get back to more of your calls. 412-928-9370 if we want to talk about Cam Heyward. We haven't discussed the Boswell part of that situation and who you're looking for tonight. Who's a player you really want to watch tonight in the preseason game coming up at 7 o'clock as the Steelers are at Jacksonville on KDKA TV. We've got the Pirates coming up at 6:40. Joel's got a headline. We're back with more on a Sports Saturday on 93.7 The Fan.
Now, fan headlines are Powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
Braxton Ashcraft against Nick Martinez when the Pirates take on the Reds tonight at 6:40 from PNC Park. Our coverage on 93.7 The Fan begins at 5:45, presented by Keystone Custom Apparel. Steelers take on the Jaguars at 7 in Jacksonville. For more, get at 937thefan.com. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Get the latest on Pittsburgh sports from anywhere with the Odyssey app. Listen to shows and Pirate Games live. Check out our exclusive interviews and content anytime. Download the Odyssey app now and never miss a minute. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop. That's because your Macy's store has back-to-school essentials at incredible prices, like complete looks from Epic Threads, Levi's, and Abercrombie Kids. Character outfits from Hello Kitty, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse. Plus, backpacks from JanSport and High Sierra. The best part? Get it all for 25 to 50% off. That's right, up to half off. But hurry in. These back-to-school deals end Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
It's the second annual KDK Radio Kickoff Classic live at the Wolverina, presented by Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union. The best high school football showcase to begin the 2025 season on Friday and Saturday, August 22nd and 23rd. North Allegheny versus Woodland Hills, Central Catholic versus LaSalle College on Friday. On Saturday, it's McKeesport versus Delaware Valley, Steel Valley versus Westinghouse, and Elizabeth Forward versus West Mifflin. $13 per ticket or weekend passes, just $25. Get your tickets at kdkradio.com.
Hey, Crowley here for Sullivan Super Service. When your drain is clogged, you need help. Sullivan Super Service has the training and equipment to solve your problems fast. Over bridges and through tunnels, Sullivan Super Service has been saving homeowners in Pittsburgh from sewer and drain issues for more than 60 years. So when you need a hero, call Sullivan Super Service. And right now, they're offering a $64 drain clearing with a free camera inspection. Let their family take care of yours. Family owned since 1964, serving all of Allegheny County. Sullivan Super Service.
Hey, Pittsburgh. Got any plans for the weekend? Maybe taking the kayak out to Lake Arthur? Or perhaps catching a Buccos ball game downtown? Well, no matter where you're headed, you can also plan on earning some cash back with the Upside app. With Upside, you can earn up to 25 cents per gallon at hundreds of local gas stations, including GetGo, Circle K, and Sunoco. The best part? You can combine Upside with your credit card perks and loyalty programs. It's like double dipping your rewards with an extra side of cash back. Download Upside, and for a limited time, get a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up with promo code PITT161. That's promo code PITT161 for an extra 25 cents per gallon. See why Upside users in Pittsburgh have racked up more than $3 million in cash back earned. Next time you're fueling up for the weekend, make the smart move with Upside. Don't forget to use promo code PITT161. Upside. Cashback smarter. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, hello. Listen to my voice talking to you about the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart. Now listen to my smell. I smell like NFL stars Jared Goff, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, CJ Stroud, and George Kittle. I smell like greatness. Why? Because I'm wearing Old Spice's new NFL collection. How can you put the greatness of the NFL into a smell, you ask? You can't. But Old Spice can. And they did. Smell like Suntal and Speed, Driftwood and Drive, Sea Tides and Toughness with the Old Spice NFL collection available at Walmart. Smell like the greatest smell in the NFL with Old Spice.
Text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates text line at 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly.
Hi, everyone. This is Bob Pompiani. Let's count the ways that number one Cochran Kia delivers a clearly better car buying experience. First, they have a huge selection of new Kia models with nearly 200 in stock. From the Forte and Sportage to the Telluride and Carnival, there's a vehicle for every lifestyle. Second, number one Cochran's clear-cut pricing structure gives you the absolute best price up front. This simplifies the buying process and makes for an enjoyable, stress-free experience. Third, their exceptional lease and APR financing rates are designed for maximum allowable savings so you can drive home your dream car. clearly better car buying. It's transparent, it's hassle-free, and it's a #1 Cochrane Kia exclusive. Test drive today at their location on Campbell's Run Road in Robinson or shop online at CochraneKia.com.
93.7 The Fan is cleared by aquickdrain.com.
Forward 292-893-70. Jeff Hathorn with you. Ray Fittipaldo to join us next hour. Same with Stephen Thompson, both of the Post-Gazette. One covers the Steelers, one covers the Pitt Panthers, scrimmaging on the weekends and getting ready for the opening of their season. Gambling regulators in Ohio want to prohibit sportsbooks from offering micro bets, which has kind of led to what we've seen with former Pirate Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase being in trouble. The governor is reviewing types of micro bets currently offered by the state's books on all sports before they draft a rule to remove some player-specific props from the list of approved wagers. This comes from the first pitch debacle with Ortiz. I didn't know before this, and Joel Nelson is producing. Joel, you've made it maybe one or two wagers in your life. I didn't even know you could bet on first pitches.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, some places there's a thing where, let's say Paul Skeens is pitching. You can bet, is Paul Skeens' first pitch going to be more or less than 97.9 miles per hour? Like that's a thing.
So,
and very commonly as well with, will the first pitch be a ball, strike, whatever?
So that's something that a player could control and not throw a game. Like, he could say, I'm going to throw it 96 because I'm going to throw a curveball as the first pitch. So that way it's under 96 miles an hour, but it doesn't impact the game.
Very minimal. Nonchalant. Absolutely.
It's crazy. Rob Manfred told reporters during the All-Star break that he believes certain types of micro bets, such as one on individual pitches, are unnecessary, and particularly vulnerable. Yes, I would say. I guess you could bet. Can you bet on a swing and miss for guy's first strike to be a swing and miss as opposed to a called strike? Or whether he takes ball one?
I have not seen that before. I've just seen, a ball or strike pretty much. Or hit by pitch.
I mean, it is the. Listen, gambling is awesome. It gets a lot of people into games. It keeps your interest. It can be very fun. But there are a lot of areas where people can make a lot of money. It's why you're seeing the ACC now demanding that there are injury reports for conference games. Because if you're a manager of a NCAA, any team, you could have knowledge. And even if you don't put down the bet, which would be illegal, you could tell your buddy, tell your roommate, or have your roommate's friend's sister put in a bet that so-and-so, or they'll be under this amount of yards because they know the quarterback's not playing, or they know the left tackle isn't going. That part of it is, there are going to be muddier times than what we're seeing in Cleveland. It is not the first time we've seen stuff like this happen. And I don't know how you regulate a lot of this. And you think Ortiz was doing it here? Like, it makes you wonder. Once somebody does something, it's like, I don't know.
Because that there are potentially some of his other Guardians teammates involved makes me think that I don't think it was ever an issue in Pittsburgh, but
it makes you wonder about the person all of a sudden. It's like it's crazy stuff. Steelers and Jags coming up at 7 o'clock in Jacksonville. KDKA TV has the game. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch, Missy Matthews on the sidelines. Richie Walsh will be handling the pre- and post-game. Chris Hoke back on the air, as he will be a part of the post-game call-in show All of that coming up. Ray Fittipaldo covers the Steelers for the Post-Gazette. We'll get some of his thoughts on today's game and just his general feelings about training camp as we continue. It's the Sports Saturday here on 93.7 The Fan. Fan Twitter is brought to you by South Hills Kia in Peters Township. Visit them at southhillskia.net. Fan weather brought to you by the Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. It is going to be hotter in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for Pirates Reds than it will be in Jacksonville, Florida for Steelers Jaguars. And there's a better chance of rain in Florida than there is in Pittsburgh. We do live in a better place. Ray's next on 93.7 The Fan.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Chestnut Ridge Golf Resort in Blairsville has 2 18-hole golf courses, driving range, and a full pro shop with a variety of golf equipment and apparel. Chestnut Ridge also offers stay-and-play packages with on-site hotel, easy-to-book golf outings, 4 event spaces that are indoor and outdoor, and the famous Spike Bar for food and drinks. Chestnut Ridge Resort also is equipped for banquets and catering for weddings and events. To book a tee time, call 724-459-7191.
Your hometown building partner since 1956, 84 Lumber. Visit 84lumber.com.
Hey, it's Crowley here for Window Nation. It's the end of summer here in the Pittsburgh area, and your AC is working overtime. Keep your home comfortable year-round with custom-fit windows from Window Nation. Right now, get 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and over 3 million windows installed, you can trust Window Nation. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't miss out. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Duquesne Pilsner, the Prince of Pilsners. Born on the south side of Pittsburgh in 1899. A crisp and refreshing American Pilsner brewed right here in Pennsylvania. Expertly brewed with the finest malts and a superior selection of hops. Pairs well with all things Pittsburgh. Or try Duquesne LT. Full flavored, smooth, and refreshing, but only 96 calories. Next time you reach for a cold one, grab a Duke. This beer is made possible by the Duquesne Brewing Company. Remember to drink responsibly. Cheers.
Hey, Donnie Football here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends. Cruising to that goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference, you're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But Donnie, summer's almost over. That's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in just about 2 weeks. And that first 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing 45 pounds. Think about it. You're going to slide back into that same old fall routine with that same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping your first 20. Then jump into fall with that whole new groove. Yeah, I said it. You'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Comedian Carlos Mencia is headed to Live.
There are people in this country that have jobs that they shouldn't have.
On Friday, September 5th, 2 shows, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Because Maria's accent is so thick, I had no idea that McDonald's now serves creepy chicken.
Get tickets at AXS.com. Only at Live Casino. Route 30 in Greensburg. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
All right, Joel Nelson for Fan Headlines. Pirates take on the Reds at 6:40 tonight at PNC Park. 5:45 is our coverage on the Fan, presented by Keystone Custom Apparel. Steelers take on the Jaguars at 7 o'clock in Jacksonville to open their preseason. More headlines at 937thefan.com. Ray Fittipaldo joins the show next.
If it matters in Pittsburgh sports, we're talking about it. Even on the weekend. That's cool. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
Jeff Hathorn with you here on a Sports Saturday, 93.7 The Fan. Steelers and Jags kickoff is approaching. We're joined by the Post-Gazette's Ray Fittipaldo. And Ray and I have spent a lot of time at Steelers camp this year. And Ray, what are some of the things that you're really watching for tonight?
Well, first, Jeff, I think you have to look at some of the positions where the starters and even the top backups are not playing. And I look at outside linebacker. The top three are not playing. So Jack Sawyer is going to start, and he's going to get a ton of playing time. And as you know, Jeff, Jack Sawyer has been really good up in Latrobe, and I'm excited to watch him in a game for the first time tonight. And just staying on defense, the top three corners aren't going to play. Brandon Echols, who was kind of like an under-the-radar free agent signing. I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle. You know, they signed Darius Slay back in March, and, you know, he was in that first wave of free agency. And I really wasn't expecting much. But, you know, Brandon Echols has been good up at training camp. I think he's going to get extended playing time tonight as well. So, you know, that's some of the things I'm looking for. We're not going to see any of the stars. We might not see any of the stars in any of these games, Jeff, but it's an opportunity for guys like Sawyer and Echols to go out there and show out and get on the radar a little bit.
Yeah, you mentioned Echols, and Echols brings a ton of energy, as does Juan Thornhill, who, from our standpoint, at least I'll say from my standpoint, I want to see with the Steelers forever based on some of the things he tells us. I think I'm curious, without Deshaun and some of the other guys, like, is Thornhill noticeable? Because I think that battle with Chuck Clark is something to kind of watch as the camp, you know, winds down and we get into the South Side.
Yeah, he's a vocal guy. He's not afraid to talk a little bit of trash, but I'll give him credit. He's been around the ball, Jeff. You know, he's a free safety, and that's the job of a free safety. When the ball's in the air, you know, it's your job to go get it, or at the very least, break it up. So, you know, he's been okay. I think Chuck Clark has been okay. Chuck Clark came in maybe a week into camp or so. I think he showed up for the first padded practice, and he's been noticeable as well. You know, if I want to compare the two, I would say Thornhill has more interceptions in camp, but Chuck Clark probably has more pass breakups. You know, so that's something to watch tonight as well. Those guys also going to get extended opportunities to play. Really, Thornhill, one of the few starters who actually is going to play in this game. So, yeah, he's a new Steeler. I think all those new Steelers, all the rookies, undrafted free agents, those are the guys who are going to benefit from games like tonight and then next week and the week after as well.
Ray, you've blocked big defensive linemen in your career that have tried to bat down passes. Beyond just the size, like, what is it about Y.A. Black just and obviously size is a big part of this, but allows him to get his hands on so many passes that we've seen so far this camp?
He's just got a knack for it. And, you know, he's a guy who did this at Iowa. I remember, I think it was the first or second week of camp, I asked Mike Tomlin about it because he was doing it so frequently. And I asked Mike if this was on his tape at Iowa, and he said yes. So it kind of meshes with what the Steelers want. You know, if you can't get to the quarterback for a sack, get your hands up and disrupt the play. And Cam Heyward does it really well, and Y.A. Black has done it as well as anyone so far in training camp. So, you know, this will be first opportunity in a professional game for him. So we'll see what he can do. He's gotten a lot of attention for batting down passes, Jeff, but really he was brought in here at 6'6", 340 pounds to be able to stop the run. So that's going to be his main job. Derek Harmon as well, brought in for the same reason. Both those guys have been really good. So I want to watch them against the Jaguars. Hopefully the Jaguars play their starting offensive line. I think it'll be a pretty good pretty good matchup for them if the starters for Jacksonville are in there to see what Black and Harmon are all about.
Now, we've mostly only seen him, although he has gotten a couple of first-team reps recently because Cam hasn't been out there, and they've given and Derek Harmon missed a little bit of practice time, and maybe it's because it's mostly against second and third teamers. But Logan Lee is a guy who missed last year due to injury. He's been noticeable a little bit. Boy, if he can provide them some of that depth as well, what a bonus that would. It's almost like you got an extra draft pick.
Yeah, like when Cam has been out, Isaiah Loudermilk is in there with the starters, but Lee's another guy who's battling for a job in that rotation. Beyond Y.A. Black, Jeff, and obviously the three starters, so you got four defensive linemen who are pretty much on the 53-man roster. After that, if you keep 6 or 7, I'm not sure if it's really defined who those other guys are going to be. I think, Daniel Iguale is probably on the team. He's a veteran who signed as a free agent, so he'll be number 5. But, Lee is battling along with Loudermilk and some other guys to be that number 6 or number 7 guy. And, especially these guys, Jeff, who missed all of last season on IR. And it's Fautanu, it's Roman Wilson, and it's Logan Lee. Really, these guys have the benefit of having gone through the NFL experience for a year, but in many ways they're rookies as well. So this is going to be obviously a great shot for Logan Lee to get on the radar of the coaches and prove, hey, I could be a guy who can be kept on the 53-man roster instead of the practice squad. So I think it's going to be a great competition. Is it going to be Lee? Is it going to be Loudermilk? Is it going to be somebody that we're not talking about who gets that final spot among the defensive linemen?
Ray Fittipaldo from the Post-Gazette joining us. Steelers and Jags tonight on KDKA TV. Ray, Roman Wilson, you brought up his name. He made a catch over Joey Porter during the first couple of practices on a one-on-one drill. He went high up over Porter and came down with the catch. But other than that, we hadn't seen much of Roman. But in the last couple of days, maybe coincidentally, maybe not, when right after the depth chart came out, we've noticed a lot more Roman Wilson, and maybe that's because some of the guys haven't been there in the secondary, but he has been more noticeable. What have you seen from Roman Wilson?
Yeah, listen, if he was motivated by that, great. I also think it's just natural because he's getting opportunities when Calvin Austin is out due to an injury, and getting those one-on-one reps, that one-on-one time with Aaron Rodgers, both in meetings and film study and most importantly on the field, it looks like they're, getting on the same page. So, it doesn't look like we're going to see Rodgers in the preseason, Jeff. So we're going to have to sort of count on what we see in practices with Aaron and his receivers. So that was a great development this week. If he can do it in the game with Mason, that'll be even icing on the cake. But, just based off what Aaron told us in the middle of the week, he's not a big fan of preseason games. And, I think Mike Tomlin is going to probably, bend to what Aaron wants to do. And if Aaron doesn't want to participate in these preseason games, I think we're going to have to just, watch these guys in practice. And as you mentioned, it was a really good week for Aaron Rodgers, but also equally a very good week for Roman Wilson, too. And he needed it. He had a pretty slow start to training camp. Aaron Rodgers was talking about him being in his own head and just not being out there thinking too much. And it seems like he finally settled down. And I think when guys settle down and just play free, you see the best version of them. I think that's what we saw this past week with Roman Wilson.
Ray, as you mentioned, Calvin Austin will not be out there for the game, dealing with an unknown injury at this point, but he hasn't even dressed for practice. Yeah. Is number 2 or number 3, even for that standpoint, receiver that big of a deal when you think about all the different combinations they might want to run out there in a certain whether it's putting Darnell or getting having two running backs. We've seen that with Kenneth Gainwell, being an option for them. Is the second receiver with Jonnu and Freiermuth that big of a deal for this team?
I think it's a big deal in this sense. As an offense, you want to be versatile and you want to be threatening at every position. And I don't know that beyond DK Metcalf, if you're an opposing defensive coordinator, are you going to necessarily sit back and worry about a guy like Roman Wilson or a guy like Calvin Austin? Really, they're probably like third, fourth, or fifth on your list of worries in terms of trying to cover those guys up. So if those guys can make themselves a threat, and I know Calvin sort of did that last year. I thought it was a good season for him, but if he can get over this injury first and foremost, but then, establish himself as maybe a true number 2 or a number 3 receiver, that'd be great for the Steelers offense. And then, Jeff, obviously, they invested a third-round pick in Roman Wilson because they thought he was a guy who can come in here and potentially be a starter or, a top contributor. And if he does that, that's going to give them an extra weapon as well. So, yeah, they got Metcalf. Yeah, they got Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. Those guys are probably the top 3 options going into the season, but you need 4, 5, 6. You need other guys to step up at various times when those others are taken away.
Anders Pete was brought in. He had one practice with the team on Thursday. He's 3-time Pro Bowler, mostly a guard, can play a little tackle. What do you think his role is? Is it as a Broderick insurance? Is it to battle with Spencer Anderson to be a swing? Is there concern over Sam Malo, or just you want to have a guy like that be a part of what your offensive line could be?
Yeah, maybe all that added together. Calvin Anderson has been out with an injury. I saw him hobbling around campus earlier this week. It doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon. So, you mentioned the depth. Spencer Anderson is a guard who's had to go out and play some tackle. And, Dylan Cook is a guy who's never really been he's been on 53-man rosters with the Steelers, but never consistently. He's had injuries or, he's been up and down between the practice squad and the 53-man roster. So by, adding a longtime veteran like him, it just gives you some insurance that, you have a guy who's been there and done that. So I'm not exactly sure how he's going to fit. I don't think they're looking at him to be a starting tackle right now or anything like that. But, yeah, anytime you get a guy who could play guard and tackle and a guy who started a lot of games in the NFL, that's nice insurance to have going into the season. So, we'll see what happens with Calvin Anderson. I doubt he's going to be back in time. He's probably going to have to start the season on IR. So P is the guy who's probably going to be on the team.
I'm very intrigued by Caleb Johnson because I don't know what he can really do in pass pro and what kind of receiver he is. I mean, the stats at Iowa are impressive, especially given the fact that you pretty much knew if you were playing against Iowa that this was the guy you had to stop, and it was hard for teams to do that. What do you think he might be able to bring, and what kind of step is today for him?
Mike was talking this week, and I think he was talking about Roman Wilson, like just giving him one thing to do this week and then maybe asking him to do special teams next week. And I think they're going to have a similar approach with Caleb Johnson. I think they're going to have him out there today, first and second downs, just run the ball. Show us what you can do. Eventually, he's going to have to show, Jeff, that he can pass protect. Eventually, he's going to have to show that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. But I think, especially for a rookie, I think they just want to get him comfortable tonight and do what he does best. Just being up at camp, it's been a challenge for him as a receiver out of the backfield. He's had some drops. The pass protection has been a challenge for him. So, yeah, you want to throw him out there and see what he can do. But I wouldn't be surprised tonight if you just see him out there a lot first and second downs. And, that's why he was brought here. He's a great outside zone runner, put up monster numbers at Iowa. And if he could do that for the Steelers this year, not even have to worry about being a 3-down back because you got Warren and Gainwell, he's going to end up being a key piece to this offense. So, another guy tonight I'm excited to watch, and especially what he does as a runner.
Ray, I was talking to Mark Kabali last hour. the car is safely in the parking lot. But he was at a celebrity golf tournament, and people were egging him on to try to golf, that they wanted to see him swing. How do you think that would go?
Man, Mark has such a big back. He might break a driver over his back. I don't know. He seems like he might have a violent swing, and he wouldn't know how to decelerate. So I don't know. Did he give in? Did he actually go out there?
I don't. Not as the point that we were talking, but I was trying to get him to try to do it because I don't know if you remember. He used to talk smack about how if you gave him a 5-iron, he'd hit it across all the fields on the Southside facility. And of course, who carries a 5-iron with them when they're at practice? So we never got to see it. Then he said if he took a driver, he'd clear the river, which would be a hell of a shot. Have you ever golfed, Ray?
Many, many years ago. Once I had kids, that pretty much ended my golf career. But getting back to Kabali, he seems like now, post Achilles injuries, he seems like a putt-putt guy to me. I don't know.
Ray, this is going to be like a putt-putt kind of game tonight. So enjoy, and I'm sure that nobody's going to overreact, much like no one is going to overreact to what Shedeur did last night.
Of course not. Hey, we don't have Will Howard. The Browns got Shedeur Sanders. We're going to have to wait for Will Howard to do something. I don't know. Maybe in practice here in a month or so.
No one's more upset than Pomp. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
All right, Jeff.
All right, Ray Fittipaldo. You can read his stuff at the Post-Gazette. It does an awesome job. And one of my favorite guys up at camp because he just doesn't have to hear his own voice. It's about doing the job. And that's makes awesome for Ray. One of the newer writers in the business from the Post-Gazette also is Stephen Thompson. He covers Pitt football. He has been out at all of the practices. How's it look? Got Duquesne coming up at the end of the month. Then on the 13th is the Backyard Brawl. A couple of changes. Rylan Gandy gone. Obviously, backup quarterback people were excited about from Penn Hills left. How's this roster look? It would seem like this defense is going to be pretty good. We'll get the latest from Stephen as we continue. Fan Twitter is brought to you by South Hills Kia in Peters Township. Visit them at southhillskia.net. It is a Sports Saturday. Jeff Hathorn with you here on 93.7 The Fan.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. The countdown is on. Only 29 days until Pittsburgh faces New York. And these are some of your favorite number 29s. Barry Foster, Ron Johnson, Ryan Mundy. The countdown to kickoff is presented by Duquesne Beer. Grab a Duke. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Now, fan headlines. Powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
A little over 3 hours from now, it's the Pirates taking on the Reds at 6:40 from PNC Park. 5:45 is the North Shore Tavern leadoff show with Dan Zangrilli as Braxton Ashcraft is set to take on Nick Martinez. Pirates are winners in 12 of their last 17. Steelers tonight are at Jacksonville taking on the Jaguars at 7 o'clock to open their preseason. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. For more, go to 937thefan.com.
This training camp player profile is presented by Smale Kia on Route 30 on the way to camp. Will Howard, born in Pennsylvania, Will Howard starts his NFL career right here in Pittsburgh. After 4 years at Kansas State, Howard transferred to Ohio State ahead of last season. Howard led the Buckeyes to the school's first championship in a decade after multiple blowout wins in the playoffs. Howard was selected in the 6th round of this year's draft by the Steelers and will look to make a statement in the crowded quarterback room.
Pony and Muller here. Mike and Mike's Beer Bar is a big fan of us. In fact, he gave us our own beer. Okay, well, kind of. Each month, Mike picks a local beer that we call the Fan Beer of the Month. The Fan Beer of the Month for August is Hitchhiker Brewing's Bane of Existence, a New England IPA. And the charity is Breakthrough T1D, the leading global organization funding type 1 diabetes.
And if you don't like the Fan Beer of the Month, or you just don't like us, Mike has 4 other beers on tap that you can select, and he will make a donation to the charity. Check out the Fan Beer of the Month month at Mike's Beer Bar.
Meet me at Mike's.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1274. That's 800-587-1274. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1274. That's 800-587-1274 today.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
Small fixes to big upgrades. eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hold on tight, rodeo fans. It's time for the North Washington Rodeo. 5 nights of nonstop rodeo action, August 12th through the 16th at the famous North Washington Rodeo Grounds, Drew 38 North in Butler County. See top cowboys and cowgirls compete for huge prize money in bull riding, barrel racing, bronc riding, and more. Get your tickets early and save. Visit NorthWashingtonVFD.com today. The North Washington Rodeo. Don't miss it.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy or rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Hey, it's Chris Muller. And if you're like me, you like knowing what to expect, especially when it comes to your phone bill. Well, Verizon's got some big news for your peace of mind. For the first time ever, they're locking in low prices for 3 years. That's right, 3 years guaranteed with my plan. That's future you peace of mind. So whether you're already with Verizon or thinking about making the switch, this is for you. Everyone can save on a brand new phone on my plan when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands. Because at Verizon, they've got your back, now and in the future. So go ahead, take one thing off your worry list. Visit your local Verizon store in Pittsburgh and ask about their 3-year price guarantee today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Do you have experience working on Class 8 heavy-duty trucks? Consider a career with PGT Trucking Maintenance. PGT is now hiring experienced diesel mechanics in Midland and Blairsville, PA. Support the fleet by helping to maintain PGT's late model equipment, including international and Peterbilt tractors. Technicians should be able to complete a preventative maintenance inspection. Experience in the trucking industry is preferred. Call 1-800-TEAM-PGT or apply online at pgttrucking.com/work.
Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills.
Fan text line brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates, a personal injury law firm, where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Jeff Hathorn with you on a sports Saturday here on 93.7 The Fan. We've got Pirates baseball coming up at 6:40. Dan Zangrilli with the North Shore Tavern leadoff show at 5:45 tonight. Braxton Ashcraft gets the start. We'll talk a little bit more about the Bucks coming up. Right now, we're going to talk some Pitt football, and we are joined by Stephen Thompson of the Post-Gazette. And, Stephen, apparently there was a scrimmage or something today with the Pitt Panthers, but I want to ask you just overall, what are some of the impressions you've had now since the 30th? This team has had some practices, and we're now 3 weeks away from the start of the season.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I would take away from these, last couple of weeks of watching this team is that, you're I think struck by everyone who came back, right? The fact that Desmond Reed and Kyle Lewis and Rasheem Biles and Eli Holstein, and Kenny Johnson, a lot of familiar faces that people who might not have been keeping up with this team all off season will see again, and I think there's a lot of belief in this team being able to kind of capitalize on a lot of those guys coming back and, not just repeat the success that they had early last season, but build upon it and make for a more maybe sustainable thing in 2025.
I mean, the linebackers are as good as they've been since, I think of linebacker groups back in the Wanstead days or even back in 13-9 lore of some of the linebackers they have. But these guys, when you consider they've now had more time together, the speed, how much more is there for them to improve given what we've already seen from them?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, huh? Look, Kyle Lewis and Rasheem Biles, those are two guys who are absolutely all ACC caliber, first-team all ACC. Kyle Lewis even played in an All-American year last year. And so for them, the margin between good and great gets even smaller, or the kind of the margin that you need to improve and be better than the year before, it gets a lot smaller. And, this coaching staff has talked about really kind of not letting them get comfortable. Those are two guys who I don't think ever get comfortable with being good enough. But, they have coaches and teammates that are reminding them that, last season was last season. And so there's a lot still left in front of them. I think if they get, maybe some better play from the defensive line, which I really like the defensive tackle group and the defensive end group that Pitt has this year. If they can get maybe a little bit better play from them, it'll open up some opportunities for them to improve on some really great statistical years from a year ago.
Stephen, maybe it is the defensive line, but what is a concern you have defensively with this Pitt team?
Yeah, I think it's in the secondary. They returned two guys who were two of their top three corners, really, but I'd say on the whole, this was a defensive secondary that gave up a bunch of big plays in the passing game, especially late last year. So you've got some new faces in there. I like some of the up-and-coming corners they've got. Rashawn Murray coming over from Cal U, Shadarian Harrison, Ed Conway Award winner from the spring. And then at safety, Cruz Brookins has really been one of the stars of spring ball, really, and training camp as well so far. And then Kavir Bain, the safety transfer from UC Davis. I like some pieces they have coming, but they need returners like Rashad Battle and Tamon Lynham and Javon McIntyre to be a little bit better in coverage because they give up a lot of big plays, particularly in the passing game down the stretch of 2024.
Well, and it seems like, as you alluded to earlier, Stephen, we're joined by Stephen Thompson of the Post-Gazette, who covers the Pitt Panthers, that this team is going to succeed or take the next step based on their offense. Starting with the quarterback position, I think the depth in the room, I know that like Mason, and that's a young guy, that's their three, but their first two guys now have experience with Cade Bell, whether it's here or Western Carolina, have an idea of what's going on. I know Pat has mentioned a few times, Pat Narduzzi's mentioned a few times of how he felt like that has helped the offense. What do you think of the quarterback room this year and what they might be able to do if they stay healthy?
Yeah, I think the really interesting thing that K. Bell told us really at the beginning of training camp was that because you have two guys who played in the system for at least a year, he's able to kind of think a little bit bigger. Last year he's getting everyone up to speed with this offense, but now that the information kind of gets filtered through the players and some returning guys who already know what they're doing, now he's able to, I think, tweak and tinker a little bit more because last year, the system that he put in place, the injection of talent that Pitt got was kind of like a spark plug, but it ran out pretty quickly when I guess you could say the book kind of came out on how to defend Pitt, how to limit those big plays that they were getting so early on. So I think the biggest thing is the ability to adjust to adjustments, I guess. And, instead of installing an entirely new offense, getting everyone up to speed, like I said, you can kind of self-scout a little bit more, and you have players who can contribute to that process as well. So I think that's going to be the biggest difference for Pitt if they're able to sustain some of their offensive success over an entire year, is that you're going to have guys like Cole Gonzalez and Eli Holstein who are able to kind of assist you more in the game planning and expand your playbook, and then on the field be a better extension of the coaching staff and keep you in good plays and out of bad ones.
I think we have a good feel of what Des Reed is. I'll start with Joel's Goff. I mean, there's been already a couple of injuries at running back, but what do you think about Goff and what is behind or alongside of Des Reed in the backfield?
Yeah, those running back injuries kind of extend all the way back to, the end of last season. So Joel Goff got a little bit of run towards the end of the year, but you didn't really see everything that he could do. Goff had a hand injury, I believe, in the preseason and training camp that lingered into the regular season. So it really wasn't until about midway through the year that he was fully healthy. But that's just a lot of time for a true freshman to have to make up. When you lose those kinds of reps, it really has an impact. So I think Joel Goff has a ton of speed. I think he's a smart kid and a smart player. And once he gets those reps underneath his belt, we're going to see a lot of those physical tools really shine. Because, as much as they want to, give Des Reed the ball and leave him in that game as much as possible because he's their best playmaker, it would really benefit this team if they could have a solid number 2 option behind him. And I think Joel Goff could be that guy. I'm not sure he's that guy yet, but I would, by the end of training camp, the coaching staff would feel really good about him, taking a load off of Des Reed's plate.
Stephen, I wish I could do a Kate Bell impersonation because, I want to ask this question of like, all right, do you get it? All right? You understand what I'm saying, right? All right? Because
that's pretty good.
He did mention on that first day on the 30th about finding big plays from wide receivers, that they have to find some big plays. And I think it was 23 of the 28 touchdown passes came inside the red zone. Who could that come from? And there are new guys like Blue Hicks. Like, where could those big plays come from for Pitt?
Yeah, I think, one of the most obvious ways that they can find some of those big plays is get Kenny Johnson a little bit more involved. I think he started last year really hot and then kind of fell off a little bit, just wasn't, I think, getting the same, number of targets or number of looks. Maybe teams were trying to take him away in a certain sense. But I think if you're able to make him more of a focal point of the passing offense, he can give you some more big plays further down the field. But I love that you brought up Blue Hicks. He's been one of my favorite players through training camp so far. Pat Narduzzi called him, using quotes here, the best ball in hand guy that Pitt has had in a few years now. He's the type of guy who can take a screen pass and run 75 yards. I think he had a 65-yard touchdown in the spring game back in April. He's the kind of guy where you can just put the ball in his hands and he can make a big play happen out of nowhere. So I think that's another way that Pitt can really find some more explosive plays, is a guy like Blue Hicks using his speed on the outside and taking an easy pass from one of those quarterbacks and just using his straight line speed running with the football.
We saw with Ryan Baer that right side is definitely the comfort level. We've seen some transfers work on the left side. What do you think about this offensive line? There's some experience in the middle. Obviously, Baer has experience and has performed well on that right side. Do you think this line takes a step forward this year?
Well, it really needs to. The offensive line went through a bunch of injuries last year. It was one of the things that really held Pitt back in the second half of the year. They've got more depth with those 3 transfers that they've got. It seems like they have a really healthy competition going on at left tackle between Kendall Stanley and Jeff Percy. And then, like you said, the interior between B.J. Williams and Lyndon Cooper and Keith Gueva, the other transfer. You have to feel really good about the experience that they have there. A guy like B.J. Williams taking a step forward as he becomes a junior. Lyndon Cooper seems like he's maybe one of the better centers in this, upcoming draft class. Could be a guy who's getting some NFL attention by the end of the year. You just got to keep him healthy, I think, at the end of the day. You just can't have, I think it was maybe 6 different starting lineups over 13 games last season. And it was even more if you go back to the season before in 2023. They had a bunch of injuries again as well. I think it's really good that they found the kind of depth they did in the transfer portal because I think, even if you do have a left tackle injury to whoever ends up winning that battle, like you have the past 3 years, I think Pitt's lost its starting left tackle to a season-ending injury. But even if you have something like that, I think you have the kind of depth right now where you could take an injury to a starter and be fine. You have a capable backup. But health is really going to be the only thing that you really need to pay attention to with that offensive line.
We're joined by Stephen Thompson from the Post-Gazette, covers the Pitt Panthers. One of the things to watch for in tonight's Steelers preseason game is Ben Sauls is going to get all the kicks, which means obviously Ben Sauls is not at Pitt anymore. What is the concern level on finding a guy that maybe isn't Ben but can be a good kicker for them?
Yeah, it seems like they've got a pretty interesting and pretty tightly contested battle going on at that place kicker spot between James London, who's a transfer from Murray State. He has some kind of Division I kicking experience. It's obviously not, kicking in Acrisure Stadium or, against kind of power competition, but he has kicked before in college games. Seems like he's just a little bit ahead of Sam Carpenter, who I believe is still an underclassman, maybe a redshirt freshman. But I think Pitt believes it has 2 quality kickers. Look, you're never going to replace a guy like Ben Sauls, who, set a couple records at Pitt and, was, maybe inches away from tying a stadium record at Acrisure Stadium for longest field goal. That's a kind of special player that you really can only hope comes along to your program in terms of, place kickers and special teams and things of that nature. But I think Pitt believes it has 2 really solid options and a healthy competition there that's going to play out in their favor by the time training camp is over.
Stephen, in the studio on Thursday, we had Pat Bostic and Dorn Dickerson with their Pitt gear on, and Adam Crowley had West Virginia stuff on, and it just got me fast-forwarding ahead to September 13th. The best part of college football, I think, are the atmospheres. Like, have you sat and thought any about what it's going to be like in Morgantown? Rich Rodriguez back as coach when the Panthers go down there on that Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, I have thought quite a bit about it. It's going to be a really special moment. I think you're going to have a couple fan bases that are really energized. Not that this rivalry needs any more juice, but bringing Rich Rod back and kind of starting a new era for West Virginia football, I think that's really only going to add to the fire of all this. It's going to be their first, kind of major home game under this new regime. And then obviously there's the history there, like playing on, 9/13 against, the head coach of West Virginia from 13-9. Like, there is just too many kind of perfect storylines for this not to be a really great game. And I think, more often than not, this game does deliver. So I know the people in Morgantown are going to bring it and create a great environment. And I am really excited to see, honestly, how Pitt kind of stacks up to that environment, because they're not going to have, a big road test until that West Virginia game, and it's going to be arguably their toughest road game of the year, I would say. So I couldn't be more excited for it, and I'm going to miss it. I think this is the last year before they go on a bit of a hiatus. So
yes,
we got to savor this one now.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, Rich Rod was on our air this week, and he called that the Titanic of his career. And coaches can say whatever they want. Mountaineers are going to be fired up for that game. It's good. It's going to be awesome. Stephen, we'll see you over on the south side. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
All right, Stephen Thompson from the Post-Gazette covers the Pitt Panthers. Thanks to Stephen. Panthers open with Duquesne at Acrisure Stadium at noon on August 30th. Then the next week, another noon kick at Acrisure against Central Michigan, and then that backyard brawl a week off. And then Louisville is here to open ACC play. And Louisville's always an interesting team because, they have the resources to reload. What's Louisville going to look like? It's an intriguing month of football. You go from West Virginia, get that time off, and then kind of see how Pitt is. We'll see what Louisville is. And then before you know it, it'll be October. When we come back, we are going to discuss a very famous anniversary in sports history from August 9th. We'll discuss that. We'll get you set for the Buccos as well. It is a Fan Sports Saturday on 93.7 The Fan.
93.7 The Fan Morning Show with Doran Dickerson and Adam Crowley.
You ever smelled like really hot wings before and like your nipples get hard? And
what?
You ever smell like a really hot wing and your nipples get hard?
Oh my God, they're peeking through. He's thinking about chicken wings and he's getting his nipples hard over there.
I can't control it.
My nipples don't get hard. Mine
do.
But yeah, especially if it is the...
The Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Now, Fan Headlines, powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
6:40 tonight at PNC Park. Game 3 between the Pirates and the Reds, where Pittsburgh, with a win, can win the series against Terry Francona and Cincinnati. 5:45 is the North Shore Tavern leadoff show with Dan Zangrilli as Braxton Ashcraft will take on Nick Martinez. Steelers open their preseason at 7 o'clock tonight at the Jacksonville Jaguars. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan Headlines are powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. You can catch up on the latest Pittsburgh sports news anytime. Just tell your smart device to play Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
93.7 The Fan from Odyssey.
Pittsburgh sports, smart enabled. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop. That's because your Macy's store has back-to-school essentials at incredible prices, like complete looks from Epic Threads, Levi's, and Abercrombie Kids. Character outfits from Hello Kitty, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse. Plus, backpacks from JanSport and High Sierra. The best part? Get it all for 25 to 50% off. That's right, up to half off. But hurry in. These back-to-school deals end Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
2025 is here, and so is big news from Tri-State Office Furniture. Coming soon with the launch of Tri-State Office Interiors, your only premier all-steel furniture dealer in the Tri-State area. Sleek, cutting-edge, all-steel furniture, 2 great divisions in one great company. We can't wait to show you what's next. Stay tuned for updates on our grand opening. Visit our showroom today or give us a call, 412-771-0760 to learn more. Tri-State Office Furniture and Tri-State Office Interiors, the best in the business.
BetWire is now live right inside the BetParks app. Think TikTok, but for people who love sports betting more than dance tracks. BetWire is the all-new sports betting live feed with quick videos, hot takes, game predictions, and more from sports betting content creators all across the country. Check out all these new games on the BetParks app. Huff and More Puff, The Flintstones, plus Money Horse. New users get up to $1,000 cash back. See BetParks.com for T's and C's. You must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/22/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
The back-to-school deals at Kohl's are so good, it'll feel like spoiling yourself. With 20% off the stuff your kids will actually wear, like jeans, tees, sneakers, and more. You can do it all without overdoing your budget. See? Sometimes parents get spoiled too. Head to Kohl's or Kohls.com to start the year off right for less. Select styles. Coupon ends August 10th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Need legal help without the high price tag? Turn to Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. Myers Law Group specializes in real estate legal solutions for residential and commercial clients. Considering buying or selling or a sale by owner, home or property, contact Myers Law Group first. Their experienced attorneys will make sure all documents are correct and all promises are kept before the sale. Call Myers Law Group today at 724-778-8800 or visit jpmyerslaw.com.
Want to save big for back to school? Check out Going Gone by Dick's Sporting Goods and score up to 70% off thousands of styles from top brands like Nike, Adidas, Jordan, and more. Score big with A+ deals on shoes, tees, shorts, pants, and backpacks. Your year, your style, your price.
Cheerleaders is Pittsburgh's premier gentlemen's club and sports bar. As soon as you arrive, you can feel the energy of the Cheerleaders experience. Cheerleaders has a 5-star kitchen that stays open late. Cheerleaders has been voted Pittsburgh's #1 gentlemen's club 12 of the 13 years they've been open. Cheerleaders now is Taco and Tequila Tuesdays. $2 tacos, $2 Coors Light bottles, $2 tequila drinks till midnight, and 2-for-1 private dances. Friday, August 8th and Saturday, August 9th, come see Rachel Rampage. Make her first Cheerleaders performance. Rachel Rampage, only at Cheerleaders.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
Text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates text line at 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly. 93.7 The Fan is cleared by aquickdrain.com.
Sports Saturday here on 93.7 The Fan. He has been patient, and I apologize, David. I was going to get to you before the break, but let's get to you now. David from Beaver Falls, you're on 93.7 The Fan. Hey, David.
Hello. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the comeback player of the year.
That would be awesome, because that would mean that the Steelers are having a really good season.
Exactly, and I do believe that's going to happen.
What did you think it was going to be like? And from what you've heard, is it different than what you thought?
Yeah, a little bit. A lot of the fans think that Aaron Rodgers is trash. I just think he was in a bad situation last year, and I think his old self is going to come out.
Thanks, David. Appreciate the call and your patience from Beaver Falls. 93.7 The Fan, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDK and WAMA 107.3 are partnering to support Pittsburgh Public School students for the school year by providing stuffed backpacks for the Pittsburgh for PPS, and that's hashtag Pittsburgh for PPS backpack drive presented by Target Freight Management. You can support by purchasing backpacks, dropping them off at a location near you, and you can find that information at 937thefan.com. It's brought to you by GBU Life, life insurance, annuities, and member benefits since 1892, and Rugby Realty. We are joined by Joel Nelson is producing. Joel, did you guys used to make an annual trip where you would go and get school supplies, and was that always like just the bummer knowing that school was right around the corner? If you did indeed do that.
Yeah, that was not fun. And you kind of push it towards the end of summer as far back as you can before the school year, because you don't want to have to do that and then, wait 2 weeks and then school starts. I guess you could do that and you're more prepared and everything, but once you made that trip to the store to pick up all those supplies, it really kicks in and it's like, wow. It's here.
As I got older, I would beg my parents to take me after school started. Like, I'll just go with what I have for now. I just don't want to be in that store buying school supplies. Like, once we have the first day of school, then I'll go.
Summer is short, so let's...
Yes. And it seemed like those back-to-school sales would start earlier and earlier and earlier every year. You go into a store, and it's... You just got out of school, and you're seeing back-to-school specials already. Like, let's have that time.
Let us, no pun intended, soak up all the time in the sunshine and what else in the summertime.
Well played, horse. Steelers coming up at 7 o'clock against Jacksonville on KDK TV. I mentioned on August 9th, there was a big anniversary of something spectacular that happened in sports. On August 9th, 1936, Jesse Owens became the first American to win 4 gold medals at the Berlin Olympic Games and gave the middle finger to Adolf Hitler, standing on that. I mean, he didn't literally do it, but he did it by his performance. And what an amazing accomplishment that was. We did not know exactly the horror that regime was going to bring upon the earth, but for Jesse to go in there and do that, and he wasn't the only one to win a gold medal. Pitt's John Woodruff, at the same Olympic Games, at age 21, won gold in the 800 meters. He was a freshman at Pitt, and he went over to Berlin as an African American and won 800 gold. This kid from Connellsville goes halfway across the world and accomplishes a tremendous feat. But Jesse's happened on August 9th, 1936, which, I mean, what an incredible moment for him to be able to pull that off in that environment with all of that going on. Before we leave, we do have Pirates baseball coming up. There's been a lot of talk about Paul Skeens and contract extension to Pirates. Of course, the Pirates want one. And the Pirates can control that by not even talking to him at all. At all. During the offseason, the rest of the season. They can control it by what they bring into the organization, either via trade or free agency, over the months after the season ends, and it starts back up in February in Bradenton. That is going to tell Paul Skeens what he needs to know about the Pirates organization. Do they spend $15-20 million on a couple of guys whose best days in their career are behind them and say, this is and we're going to take another run and let's see what Nick York has, or Billy Cook, or maybe Jack Sawinski this year is going to find what he found a couple of years ago. It's not going to be anything that's going to be said to Paul Skeens. It's going to be what they do this offseason that they should have done last offseason, but now it's this offseason. whether it's Ben Cherington as GM or not, that's going to impact what Paul Skeens thinks of this organization. And one move that has to happen before this season is over, can we please promote Connor Griffin, please? Could you give us a couple of weeks of watching him in Altoona? Because Connor Griffin at A-ball in his first season at 19, and he in 50 games hit .338 with a .932 OPS, 10 doubles, 2 triples, 9 homers, 26 stolen bases. They promoted him to high A, and in 43 games so far in Greensboro, he's hitting .321, a .968 OPS, and his on-base percentage is .423 with the same number of doubles, 10, same number of triples, 2, and 7 home runs, 31 RBIs, 24 stolen bases in 43 games. You're looking for impact bats. Who's to say he couldn't be an impact bat for you next year? Get him up to AA. And if he does well there, maybe he starts next season there and quickly goes up to AAA, and then who knows? But could we please move Connor Griffin up the scale? I think 43 games is enough at high A, and he never needs to see that again. Let's get him up to AA and see what Connor Griffin can do. Dan Zangrilli has a North Shore Tavern leadoff show coming your way at 5:45 with first pitch 6:40. Pirates and Reds. Braxton Ashcraft starts, and good for him. This guy's been through a lot. He's still only 25, a big dude with good stuff. Let's see what he can do. See if the Pirates can knock off the Reds. It is a Sports Saturday here on 93.7 The Fan.
This training camp player profile is presented by Smale Kia on Route 30 on the way to camp. Aaron Rodgers. Ever hear of him? The 4-time MVP quarterback who will spend his final NFL season here at Pittsburgh after joining the Steelers this offseason. Coming off 2 down years in New York, the future Hall of Famer spent his prior 18 years in Green Bay, showcasing his all-time skill and talent. The last time Rodgers won a Super Bowl was 14 years ago over the very same Steelers he now joins. He will look to add one final Lombardi trophy to his resume, this time with a black and gold. HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.
Join the fun on DraftKings Casino. Ranked the #1 online casino experience. They've got everything you've been searching for. Thousands of exciting games, huge jackpots, exclusive offers, and more. New players get a 10-day welcome offer. 500 spins on Huff and More Puff when you play just $5 to start. Download the DraftKings Casino app and use code THEFAN. That's code THEFAN. And spin your favorite slots with DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Physically present in Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New